Hello, everyone, and welcome in to this Saturday afternoon WIAC football broadcast here on SPTV. As my name is Cale Jacoby, I'm alongside Will Haroldson and Ashton Parker here as the UW-Stevens Point Pointers take on the UW-Stout Blue Devils. And Will, as we look forward to get this game started, we talked about it before. This is really going to be a measuring stick game for both of these teams. What are you looking for in this game and out of the Pointers?
Absolutely. So for the Pointers, their first two games they played rather what we would call cupcake teams that are not exactly as talented as the Pointers would be. But I want to see them have a good balanced offensive attack, meaning they should have a nice complementary run game to a solid offensive pass game. So if they can do that, if they can stretch out the field with the pass game and then have a really kind of hard-nosed run game, they should have a good chance at potentially pulling this one out today as we get ready for the national anthem, I believe.
Yeah, and both these teams come in at 2-0 on the season, as you mentioned, but out of conference games, we don't know a lot what we can really take away from those games. But we'll have the national anthem here. We'll take a break from the mics and be back with the start of this one right after this.
We ask that you please rise, and gentlemen, remove your caps as Kelly Schoner sings our national anthem.
All right, and that was the national anthem as we come to you live from Gerke Field here on the campus of UW-Stevens Point. The first game for the Pointers football team since the 2019 season, and that is evident here with the amount of fans we have on hand. Looks like the fans are packed. These Pointer fans ready to watch some football here for the first time in a couple of years, and
all decked out in their pink in support of breast cancer awareness in this game. So it's great to see everybody finally back out here in the stands, and they should be set for a fantastic game today.
yeah, and a good reminder there it is. Yeah, the pink game for the Pointers here today in honor of breast cancer awareness here as the troops walk off the field with the flags. And with that, we'll have a moment to go through the starting lineups for today's action. We will go through the starters on offense for the Blue Devils. As we'll go through their skill positions first at quarterback. At quarterback for Stout, it is Sean Borgerding. And at fullback, it's Lime, that is...
Number 46. Fullback.
Yep, number 46, Lime. Cameron Lime, that is. And at running back, it's number 5, Rayshawn Graham. And at receivers, we have number 4, Tyler Seymour. And number 3, Levi Hamer. And at tight end, number 87, it is Bradley Sprower. And for the offensive line, left tackle, number 75, Jesus Ambritz. At left guard, number 74, Jacob Foss. At center, number 70, Justin Schlangen. At right guard, number 67, Wesley Birch. And at right tackle, it's number 62, Matt Rotter. And for the Stevens Point Pointers, as we go through their starting defense, and we'll start with the defensive line. At defensive end, it's number 94, Dakota Caravo. As we have the coin toss here on the field. We'll take a moment to wait for the results of that. And the Pointers win the toss.
They'll defer to the second half, so... So Stout should have the football first.
Stout will receive, so my guess was right. I went through the lineups, and I guessed that Stout would be on offense. There you go. That's dumb luck right there. All right, so continuing on the D-line for the Pointers, it's number 61, Michael Singer, and also a D-tackle, number 55, Berkeley Corvino. And at the left D-end, it's number 47. Try to get the pronunciation right here on this one. Number 47, Wayne Ernstmeyer. And for your linebacking core, for the Pointers, they run that 4-3 style with that kind of roaming linebacker. Do the Pointers, but at linebacker, the right outside linebacker, number 36, it is Michael Stevenson. And at that roamer spot, it is Matt Reinhardt. And at the left outside linebacker, it's number 4, Cameron Krasinski. And your defensive backs, cornerback, we have number 8, Jacob Morgan. Free safety, number 20, Gavin Tachik. Strong safety, number 27, Jawan Downing. And at the opposite side corner, number 31, Tyler Van Ness. As we get set to kick off, Will, some final thoughts before this thing gets started?
So like we said earlier, obviously this is the first kind of test for both these teams this year, and we're really going to learn about how their seasons are going to go from this first game. And it'll be one of 2 games that these teams will play each other. They'll play each other in, I believe, 3 weeks up in Stout, excuse me.
And kicking off is Ahmad Blake for the Pointers. And a deep kick there into the end zone and a touchback to start things off for Stout. And we'll start things at the 20-yard line.
So as we kind of look into this here, more statistics for the Stout. On the season, quarterback Sean Borgerding, excuse me if I butchered that last name, has 541 yards and 6 touchdowns through the air. So obviously they're a little bit more of what you call an air raid offense, that they like to get some of those big plays on offense. So look for the Pointers to try to shut that down if they want to get off this field early.
Yeah, they come out 5 receivers set, no running backs. Spread set here with Borgerding. Back there dropping back to pass on the first play, rolling right, throwing to the right, the far sideline, incomplete, but we might get pass interference here.
defensive back was maybe playing that one, or linebacker was maybe playing that one a little too well, and he looks to be called for the pass interference. Didn't really give the wide receiver a chance to catch that, and looks like the Pointers are going to get flagged in the first play of the game.
Yeah, that was close. I wonder if they might call for holding rather
might.
than PI.
So rough start. Yep, you're right.
And it is called on Jacob Morgan, the defensive back for the Pointers.
So rough start for the Pointers defense, giving up a penalty. That's basically what we call free yardage. Not much time goes off the game clock, about 6 seconds actually.
Not really completely different formation here for Stout. A bunched up set here. One receiver, a lot of backs back there, and they'll hand it off up the middle, and they'll get stuffed right at the line of scrimmage, maybe losing a yard. Looked like on the tackle there was Ernstmeyer.
Excellent defensive line penetration there by Ernstmeyer, and his teammates were there to help him clean up the rest. So now they got a second down.
That was Michael Singer.
Michael Singer.
My mistake there.
That's another point the Pointers need to do. They need to have good, solid defensive line play, get that penetration in the backfield, force mistakes.
And now the motion man, the receiver handing off to him, and about a 2-yard carry there on the jet sweep from Arthur Cox.
Some early substitutions here. Neither side really playing with that much urgency, so, I mean, it is early, granted, but.
And 3rd and 6 now for the Blue Devils. As, again, back to that spread formation. They got it back in the backfield, though. Might be there to block. It's trips left, receiver to the right. As Borgerding drops back, throws over the middle, and caught for a first down. Nice snag there by the Blue Devils receiver. Looks like that was Warren Williams on the snag.
Reception by number 3, Levi Hammer. It's the first down for Blue Devils.
The excellent little play call there. A nice little kind of crossing route into the middle. Found himself wide open, was able to pick up the first down for Stout.
That was Levi Hammer on the reception. Again, Borgerding dropping back. Now that one gets tipped at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10.
I don't know exactly what happened there, but almost half the entire offensive line for Stout kind of just fell on their stomachs. I don't know how to describe that play. There was just nothing happening there.
The only thing I could think is maybe they were trying to set up a screen, but usually you don't just fall down
right
on a screen. But pistol formation, 2 receivers to the left. Borgerding drops back, rolling right now. That looks like a screen or swing out there. And
nice
a nice play there by the linebacker for Stevens Point. Looked like that was Cameron Krasinski.
Beautiful play. Was able to sniff that out right away. Noticed the offensive lineman pulling to the right. Was able to identify a screen and made a nice tackle. If he doesn't make that tackle, there was a lot of green in front of him. So it's a good chance that they saved themselves a lot of yardage there.
Yeah, great play there by Krasinski. As back to that spread formation. No backs back there. If you can get a pass rush with no running back to help protect, 5 receivers, 3rd and 6. Borgerding looking, rolling right, stepping up in the pocket, and he'll get sacked. There's that pressure we're talking about. And on the sack, that is Smith on the sack for the Pointers. Malik Smith, the 2nd-string defensive end.
Yeah, like we said a little bit in the pregame, getting that defensive pass rush is pivotal for the Pointers if they want to be able to win this football game today. So far, so good. That one mistake on the defensive holding, but they were able to fight off that early struggle and force a punt and got too deep.
Yeah, now good 4th and 10 as the official comes in, and a timeout for the Pointers as they want to talk things over before the punt.
It's an interesting formation by Stout. Just wanted to maybe make sure they weren't setting up a fake.
Yeah, that's a good point there. Again, interesting time to call a timeout. Again, maybe just to be safe, you try to you just try to make sure you're prepared for anything as a defense and as a return team.
Absolutely.
But it will be 4th and 10 for Stout as again. Pointers stop this Stout offense on their first drive.
Absolutely. I mean, they were able to limit that passing game of Stout that they have such a lethal 1-2 punch with Rording and his wide receivers, Hammer and company. I mean, they gave up that one first down conversion. Other than that, they were pretty solid, and now they're forcing a punt.
And we are set for the 4th and 10 punt here.
Looked like they were bringing pressure. Now they're backing out of it.
And it will get away. It will be returned. Going here down the right sideline.
Ooh, nice
stiff arm,
stiff
but
arm.
taken down. And that was, well,
Stigo with the nice stiff arm on the defender to get himself up to about the 31, I think they're marking it. So this will be our first chance to see the offense.
yeah, and we'll see what this Pointer offense has to offer here. As again, they've typically been, again, more of a spread offense, and that's what we see here. 2 receivers to the left, pistol formation, tight end left, then a tight receiver to the right. It's quarterback Max Hero, the redshirt sophomore. And play action pass, he rolls left, surveying. He's going to run with it, and he's going to have some yardage. It'll be close to a first down. He slid feet first near that first down line, but about a 10-yard run for Max Hero.
Excellent decision by Hero. He saw nobody was open on a beautiful play action fake and was able to rush for a first down. Didn't want to force anything and give Stout a short field, and that's a veteran move right there by Hero.
Yeah, and it will be a yard short, but again, 2nd and 1, you're not too concerned with that. You'd rather keep your quarterback healthy, as
Absolutely.
you mentioned. And now running back right here for Max Hero. Motion man now coming in a jet sweep, or a little shuffle pass, and it's going to gain a few yards. It'll be a first down for the Pointers. That's Levi Hammer with a first down. That's a reception. First down reception.
A nice push by that Pointer offensive line, getting out, giving wide receivers a chance to get some added yardage there, and Pointers are playing a little bit faster, not allowing that Stout defense to get really set. They're still looking at the sideline, kind of figuring things out.
Yeah, and they got 2 backs in the backfield. Looks like one, the fullback meant to block there, one flank to the left. As again, that just makes it easier on Hero when you get those easy passes. Play action pass, screen pass, and that's going nowhere. That's going to lose a good yard or 2. We'll see. Stigal as going to lose a yard now at the line of scrimmage.
Both teams so far tried to execute a screen, and both times each side got blown up. Excellent pursuit by Stout's defense, and now Pointers are forced with their first long down and distance, 2nd down and about 12.
Yeah, and the trap you don't want to fall into as an offense is trying to get it all here in one play.
Exactly.
Really just want to get a few yards cut into that and make it 3rd and short, 3rd and manageable if you can. We'll see what the Pointers can offer here as they'll play action pass over the middle. It's dropped and incomplete. Dangerously close to being an interception.
Potentially roughing the passer penalty. Looks like the defender number 41, I think that is, came down on Hero hard. So,
and we'll await that call. But if you're Levi Hammer, you got to catch that ball.
And you alluded to that, Cale. They got to be. Yep. They got to be extra careful. Try not to get all that back on one play, and it just about came back to bite the Pointers. But fortunately, they got bailed out by a poor decision on the defense. And from up here, the tackle on Hero didn't look as terrible. But remember the rule 2 years ago in the NFL, they want to protect that quarterback from getting hurt. So the referees must have seen weight being put down on Hero for them to draw that flag.
Yeah, and while a lot of the NFL rules don't necessarily have to apply, but that definitely has an influence.
Absolutely.
You're right.
Right.
Just on how you call the game. And pistol form here as the Pointers again get bailed out there, and a read option here. Hero's going to take it himself, show off those legs, and he'll have another 9-yard run for Max Hero.
And I tell you what, that quarterback run really sets up that RPO option really well. If he tucks it and runs it, next time if he decides to, he can hand it off, and that running back potential will have some green grass in front of him. It also opens up that play action pass too. So this Pointer offense, as proficient as it's been so far this season, so far so good in this first drive of the game.
Yeah, and you're right. If you can set up those read option plays, get your quarterback running the ball, especially in a spread offense, that only opens up the rest of the things you want to do offensively here for the Pointers. And they're looking to take advantage of that roughing the passer call here, threatening to get into the red zone here at about the 35-yard line. Dropping back is Hero. He's going deep. He gets hit as he throws, and he'll be overthrown. It looked like the receiver stopped on his route there.
It looks like, you're right, maybe trying to do a double move there to get himself open. Also looked like the defender had a little bit of a handful of the jersey there. So surprised that there wasn't a flag thrown on that, but maybe he gave up on the route. I don't want to say that, or maybe they just weren't on the same page, but I don't mind the play call. Take a deep shot on third down and short. Now give yourself potentially 2 downs to pick up this first down.
Yeah, and that was Markel Outlaw, the intended receiver there. Pistol formation here on 3rd and 2, and the first run of the game for the Pointers, at least handoff. And this is going to be close. I think he's going to be short, at least a yard.
The line judge is marking no gain.
All right, so no gain, 4th and 2. And it was Jai Stegall on the carry.
Carry number 22,
Oh, Versailles Gamble on the carry.
So this is an early decision here by the Pointers. Do they really want to go for here on 4th down and 2? Because
I would.
Yep, right. You want to apply early pressure on the opposing defense. Get yourself on the board and get some confidence going to that defense coming back out on the field.
Yeah, especially at this point on the field, it's too long of a field goal, and you don't really want to punt from here.
You're in that middle range.
And they'll throw it. Hero's got pressure. He's rolling out. He's going to
goes,
have the
wide
first
open.
down and more. Max Hero goes out of bounds at the 15, about a 20-yard carry for Hero.
And initially, it looked like Hero was going to throw it deep, but he took his time, saw he had open field. It was almost kind of a designed quarterback draw and was able to make the most of it. Now has the Dogs set up down in the red zone and threatening to score early in this game.
Yeah, and Hero's been doing a great job here on this entire drive of just tucking and running when it's there. If there's nobody to throw the ball to, just use your legs.
Absolutely.
You have that ability.
Take what the defense gives you. Don't make mistakes, and he's been proficient so far.
Shotgun for the Pointers here. Wing back to the right and a running back flanked right as well. Dropping back Hero, looking to run again. Possibly he will throw this one out of bounds. Or was it caught?
No, out of bounds, but I think that was intended just a throwaway pass. Nothing there. Smart decision by Hero. Don't force anything. There was a lot of white jerseys coming in on him. Get it out of your hand. Don't risk getting hurt on a play.
Yeah, good decision there by Hero. You're right. Again, looking for the intended receiver there.
I'd like to see some more run plays. It would open up the passing game with Hero. So look to see maybe a little handoff here or some more bubble screen action there to the left. Oh, bad snap. But
here. Yep, and you're right. I think they should try to incorporate that run game a little bit more. I think we're going to have a false start here on the Pointers.
And you never like getting called penalties, but in that case,
no offsides.
Oh, wow. In that case, the defensive penalty really bailed out a really bad snap. And maybe pay attention to that. Don't want to have any more miscues on offense like that. When you're threatening, that can be a real hit to the confidence if you're getting this close and you turn it over.
Yeah, so it'll be 2nd and 5 for the Pointers here at about the 10. And they will hand it off here and gain a few. They'll get close to that first down marker. It's going to be good 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, as it was Versailles Gamble on the carry.
Nice little hop step there by Gamble, able to get what he can. And with this 3rd down and 1, like I said before, I'd like to see a little shot to the end zone. I know it's close here, but it gets a little harder when you get close to that goal line. Don't have as much room to maneuver with. So look for maybe an RPO action here, or maybe just a handoff right up the middle.
And they got everyone over to the left there. They got 3 receivers, a tight end, running back behind Hero. No receivers to the right. Looks like we're going to have a
There
no,
it
he's
is.
going to roll right and spin. This will be close to the first down marker. Very interesting play design and play call there, as this is going to be close.
Looks like they picked up.
They'll call it a first down for the Pointers.
Well,
So it's good, but an interesting call there with 3 receivers and a tight end to the left. Try to get the defense thinking you're going that way and just go QB sneak to the right.
Well, the old saying is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Max Hero's been doing a good job keeping that defense honest, running it. But you're right, with all the position players over on the left, you would think that they would be throwing it to there since that's where the numbers were. But here we go, first and goal.
And Hero's going to keep it
that'll
again.
be called
Flag
for a
down. See Bulls forward. He's going to lose a good yard. But there's a flag down.
I think they're going to get number 28 for holding. That would be Jahis to go. I think they're going to get him for holding there on the edge. Looked like he got a little beat by that outside linebacker, and was the only course of action was to kind of grab hold. Or correction, I think number 22, that is Racine Gamble.
Yeah, we'll see what the call is here.
Looks like there's confusion. Oh, okay.
Illegal.
So they're gonna,
So an illegal motion called on Stevens Point, and they'll get backed up 5 yards, as it'll still be first and goal.
so as
Not a
crazy
little
as
farther
it
away.
sounds, 5 yards back gives them a little bit more room to maneuver in the playbook, so it'll give them a chance maybe if they want to decide to do a pass game here. They don't have to exactly rely on the run here, but
Gives them a little more space. They're not so suffocated against that goal
Absolutely.
line. As they'll drop back here,
Oop,
throwing over
wide
the
open.
middle,
Oh,
and that pass was
dangerous.
behind the intended receiver. Could have been intercepted again. And that wasn't intended for Yahai Stigall. But again, that throw just behind Stigall there.
And it was a little bit of a floater pass. I want to see Hero put a little bit more mustard on that. Get that in there. If he threw it a little bit earlier, right as the wide receiver made a break, they would have had a touchdown. This is dangerous territory. You don't want to throw floaters in the end zone because that's where you might get picked off.
And they're spread out here, second and goal. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. As Hero looking for an audible. A lot of movement on that Stout defense there. They got 3 down linemen here. They're going to have a lot of guys covering up the end zone here. As
Timeout called.
blown dead, and a timeout for UW Stevens Point. As we're down to 5:34 he left in the first quarter. Still scoreless here, and thus far it's been, I don't know if you'd say a defensive battle, but a slow-rolling offensive start.
Absolutely. I mean, Stout kind of had a rough start. They got it to about the 50-yard line, and then offense stalled. The Pointers have been able to move it up the field pretty well, but kind of been slowing down here in the red zone. I want to see a little bit more of that play action we saw earlier in the drive, where Hero kind of took it himself. I want to see him kind of spread out that defense, make them honest, force them to respect that passing game as well.
Yeah, and it's a good point, and you would expect to see, with how much Max Hero's been running the ball, that might just open things up for their traditional style run game and their running backs to start getting some yards, but it really hasn't been the case thus far. When the few times they've gone to the ground game and handed it off to guys like Stigall or Gamble, it just hasn't really gone anywhere.
And we got to credit that Stout defensive line, to that. They've been having some good pressure when it comes to the runs, kind of bottling up those lanes, not letting anybody get any space to move.
Yeah, and they're spread out again. 3 to the left, 2 to the right, 4 receivers for the Pointers, and dropping back. Hero throwing over the
Wide
middle,
open.
and that one's going to be overthrown. Did he catch that? No, that would have been a miraculous catch if he could have had that, as that was intended for Joe Aguilera, the receiver for the Pointers, but that one just high from Hero.
Wide open. If he would have put that right on the numbers, it would have been a walk-in touchdown. So I want to see a little bit more strength from the pass. I know he's got that ability. We've seen that. I've seen that in practices. He can put some zip on that ball. But these floaters in this end zone can be dangerous.
Yeah, we'll see. You got to expect pass here on 3rd and goal here from just past the 10. And they do drop back. Hero. He's going to go
There we
post
go.
corner to the end zone. Incomplete. Just out of the reach of the receiver there. That's Joe Aguilera again. And that one was a pretty well thrown ball. Just a little too far out in front of Aguilera. Not quite able to make the play.
A beautifully thrown ball, and looks like they're gonna kick it.
They are going to kick.
Yeah, the promising drive kind of stalls here in the red zone. Hopefully this isn't a trend for the game, but overall a solid starting drive. Let's see if the Pointers can get some points on the board here.
And it's Victor Ponterio kicking for the Pointers. And the kick up. And that is no good. So Ponterio misses that one wide right for Ponterio. And the Pointers, a long drive like that to come up scoreless is tough.
Wow, I mean, my perspective of that was, I mean, up here in the box, obviously they see things better than us, but to me, that looked like it was a good kick.
So I thought it just peeked out right at the
Okay.
end. But yeah, it can be very misleading up here in
Absolutely.
the press box
I mean,
from here. We'll trust the referees
I'll
on
take
that one.
I'll take the blame on that one, Pointers fans. I was almost guaranteeing 3 points on that drive, so
Yeah, we gotta be wary of the announcer
announcer's
curse, the
jinx,
commentator
yeah,
jinx
absolutely.
here. We've had games where you call no hitters in baseball early and gives up a hit immediately after you say that,
Ugh.
or free throws in basketball as Stout now, and this is going to be a big run here on their first play from scrimmage here this drive, and it's a first down, and that is running back Matt
Or Rashawn Graham running back.
Rashawn Graham. All right.
It was an excellent push by that Stout offensive line. You could have driven a truck through that hole, and Rashawn Graham just took advantage and sprinted right through that hole. Pointers defense have got to get some more pressure on that quarterback.
Yeah, both these teams with similar style offenses. Pointers like to run with their quarterback a little bit more. Handoff again to Graham, and he's breaking arm tackles. He is loose, breaking out of another one, and he's going to go all the way down to the Pointers' 33-yard line as it's a good 30-yard run for Graham.
Got an injured Blue Devil on the play, number 75. Look for it. Jesus Embreeze.
Yeah, so Embreeze is down.
But 2 consecutive solid runs in a row. Pointers may be playing for that pass, and Stout was able to get a good push up front and opened up a hole for Rashawn Graham, and they've been taking advantage of it.
And with that injury, we'll take a... No, we'll keep it here. He's running off the field. It looks like he's all right.
It's good to see.
Yeah, it looks like Ambert's running off the field under his own power. Good to see. And as we'll get back and ready for action here. As again, both these teams come in at 2-0, but those are out-of-conference games. This is the first conference game for either of these teams here in the WIAC.
We'll see if the Pointers can get some pressure here, clog up those run holes. Rashawn Graham has had some two fantastic runs in a row, and we'll see if the Pointers can try to limit that.
Yeah, and in the Pointers formation, we'll talk about it after this play, but dropping back now, going deep, open man in the end zone, touchdown, Stout up 6-0, and on the reception, it's Rovon Jackson. So the throw from Sean Borgerding for the touchdown to Jackson, about a 33-yard throw and catch, Stout up 6-0.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a fantastic play design by Stout. I mean, had a wide receiver do a little post route, had the point defender turned around, had no shot at catching up to that pass, and 6-0. Man, what a turn of events. We were talking about Pointers going down score and going up 7-0, and Stout stops them. Missed field goal, takes it right down the field.
And now for the extra point, it's Jack Meyer kicking for Stout, and that kick is up. And no good again. Now, that one I thought was good.
Yeah.
From here. But again, that just shows how how deceiving it can be looking at it from this angle, but we'll try. Or are they talking about it, or
Looks like
they're discussing something? That'd be an interesting call to change.
it would be. I haven't seen something like that.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
Okay. We have insight from our assistant, we want to call
Statistician?
it, Ashton Parker. Yep.
Statistician?
That's what we're labeling
Yeah.
you now. You'll hear more from him at halftime, but
Ashton Parker, give the name drop, huh?
Yeah.
There you go.
we're giving him a little name drop for the Pointers fans to want to listen into at halftime. But yeah, kind of a rough sequence of events there. Offense for the Pointers was working really well, but stalled there in the red zone. And three-play scoring drive for Stout, complemented by a nice run game by Rashawn Graham, and then another nice pass for a 33-yard touchdown. Now let's see how the Pointers can respond to that. I want to see. This is the first time they've been down this season. I know it's early, but let's see how they get a response from their offense.
Yeah, and we'll see. That's a good point. Again, we'll see how they handle this kind of really first test or any sense of adversity here this far this season. We'll see how they handle it, but again, with the Pointers defense that they run, again, it's that 4-2 style with that roaming linebacker that's really more of a hybrid safety linebacker kind of position. It's an interesting defense to try to play the run against. You don't have a lot of guys at that line of scrimmage, more of a pass defense, but
Returnable kick.
and now taking it up just past the 20 and down at the 24-yard line, as that was Jermaine Moore Jr. on the return, and the Pointers will start their drive at the 24-yard line here. We'll see what they can do. So again, Pointers with a long drive. That first drive just unfortunately couldn't pick up any points to go with it. How can they take what they did the last drive, get down there, but put it in the end zone this time?
I want to see some more play action passes, but in order to get the respect on that, you need to have a solid run game there. So I want to see them try a little handoffs here, open up that passing for Max Hero here. Looks like they got motion here, pull him back into the backfield.
Yeah, pistol formation here. As Hero drops back, and he will hand it off, and that goes absolutely nowhere. As he might lose a yard or be down right at the line of scrimmage. As on the carry, that Seth Forbes on the
But
carry.
even with that run, as minimal as the gain was, it still puts into the mind of the defense that they need to respect that running game, because if the moment they don't, Hero can take advantage and throw it deep.
Yeah, and you really got to find a way again to just try and get some yards on those runs here. Now
Absolutely.
2nd and 10.
Get some push by that offensive line.
No doubt about it. And they'll go play action. Two receivers going deep,
boy.
but it's intercepted, thrown right to the Stout linebacker, and it'll be down at the Pointers 11 as on the interception. That was Gervais Thompson. Gervais Thompson with the pick, and I don't know what Hero really looked at there. He just kind of threw it right to Thompson.
That was right in Thompson's lap. I couldn't gift wrap that a little better. The pressure looks like the offensive line just got blown off the line of scrimmage by the Blue Devils. And that pressure kind of went all into Hero's face and kind of a last ditch, just get the ball out of his hands. That's the kind of play where as a quarterback, you either, if you can, throw it away or just go down and live to see another day. So early mistake by Hero.
Yeah, when Hero looks at the film, he's probably going to say, yeah, I should have just fell down, just taken that one. But nonetheless, Stout in the red zone once again. The handoff to Graham, and it's a reverse.
Open
And
field.
this could be promising as a broken tackle. Now going out of bounds at the 10, about a 10-yard carry. As on the carry, that was Arthur Cox on the end-around reverse.
There was a lot of green in front of him, but good job for the Pointers to stop them from going into the end zone. They're going in deep into the playbook here, are the Blue Devils. They want to get this comfortable 2-score lead against the Pointers here.
Yeah, 2nd and 2 here for Stout. And they'll hand it off to Graham. Graham just slowly maneuvering, working his way up, and he's going to be close to a first down. I think he'll have it. It will be a first down. And now it'll be 1st and goal for the Blue Devils as they look to go up by another score.
I want to see this Pointers defense show some resilience. Their offense just gave up the football in their own territory. I want to see the Pointers do that kind of bend, don't break defense. Don't give up. Give themselves an early hole to dig out of.
Yeah, it's a really tough spot to be as a defense when you start the drive at this spot, but it's handoff to Graham, and a nice play there by the defensive line. Really 2 or 3 Pointers making the play.
They need exactly that. Beautiful penetration by that defense, getting right through that offensive line and closing. It looks like no gain on the play, if that may be minimal gain, but beautiful defensive play there by the Pointers.
And they got to do it a couple more times as 2nd and goal here from the 8. And the spread formation here for Stout. Again, Borgerding, the quarterback. Shotgun formation, trips left. He's looking left. Blitz from the Pointers. Going to the end zone. Incomplete.
Man, did the Pointers get away with a big time hold. But it looked to me like number 31, Tyler Van Ness, had a handful of the wide receiver on the far right. And maybe this is the type of break you got to take advantage of. They're in 3rd down and 7 here. Get yourself off the field with limited damage done.
Yeah, this would be a big stop for the Pointers after being set up in a poor spot by the Pointers offense. Be a big stop here to hold them to a field goal at most. Drop back for Borgerding. He's going to the fade route, right sideline, and you're going to get a holding call. That was an obvious one. You had 3 refs throwing the flag there.
The exact same thing on the previous play, which is why I was so astounded no flag was done. I mean, complete obvious hold. And
was it on that same side you saw?
It was exactly the same side.
So maybe I'm guessing because it happened on the opposite side of the field. They were looking left there. That time, Borgerding, maybe they saw that the play before. The Stout coaching staff sees that. They say, let's go back to that and throw it that way.
Absolutely.
And it is a holding call on Van Ness.
And so, as you know, something they teach defense is if you know you're beat, don't just give up the touchdown. Make it difficult for them. And so maybe that was the process going through his head is, I know I'm beat. I don't want to give up a touchdown. I'll take the penalty and give our defense a chance to get off the field. But
yeah, now they're going back. Well, swing route, that's way out of bounds. And that'll just be an incompletion. It'll be 2nd and goal as on the holding call, that's an automatic 1st down, half the distance to the goal. So the Stout with a whole new set of downs. But, yeah, if you're Van Ness there, maybe that's what it was, that he just thought he was beat. But you got to think, there's not a lot of room back there in the end zone. There's a chance he could have caught up to that throw. But we'll never know, and it's 2nd and goal. Pistol formation. Looks like maybe a run formation. They give it to Graham. Breaks the tackle, powering forward, stopped just short of the goal line, right at the 1 or 1.5 yard line. And Singer on the tackle.
You have to imagine this will be a 2-down territory for Stout. You want to get it into the end zone here. Let's see if the Pointers can
it looks
stop.
like they're going to try to power it in again. They give it to Graham, touchdown, Blue Devils, and it is. So it's Graham. Rayshawn Graham running it in, and they're now up by 2 scores here on Stevens Point off the 1-yard touchdown run from Rayshawn Graham.
Man, that offensive line just had an amazing push. That there's nothing that Point could do at that point. Looks like, are they going to – no, they'll go for the extra point here, but they'll line up 2.
They're going for 2.
No, they'll go for 2.
And an interesting formation here. You got 4 linemen out to the left here. Only 2 guys up in front of Borgerding, and they're going to go speed option. Borgerding keeps it himself, and they will get the 2-point conversion. Nice play call there. Again, that speed option looked like he was going to pitch it out, keeps it himself, and now Stout up on Stevens Point 14-0 in the first quarter.
That's a gut punch right there. We talked about earlier. We want to see how they respond to being down by 2 scores now. I want to see this offense not panic. There's a lot of game left. Just take it down the field. Get what the defense gives you. Don't force anything. We saw from last drive what happens when you force something. You give the defense a short field. Stout took advantage. They're up 14-0.
Yeah, and as we get set for the Pointers' next drive here, How can they change what they've been doing here the past 2 drives? Again, it was that interception. What can they do to try to get a groove going here offensively?
Well, the offensive line hasn't really done Hero much favors so far, and that may be to credit that defensive line for Stout. I mean, they have just been blowing the Pointers off the line of scrimmage, and so Hero hasn't really had much time in the pocket. So I'd like to see the offensive line give Hero some more time to get that pass out and maybe throw in some more quarterback runs there. That worked pretty well on their first drive, but they stalled there. And look at how important that play was on that missed field goal. It went from going from 3-0 or potentially 7-0 Pointers, and then Stout took it down the field, got a touchdown, missed that extra point, but later was able to take an interception and turn it into points. And now it's 14-0.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, this
boy,
is going to
pick
be
up
a
the ball.
tough play here. Oh, he's got some space.
Oh, there's a flag.
There is
down.
a flag on the field, but this is going to be a nice return for the Pointers. He's still going down the left sideline, down at the Stout 24, but there's a flag on the field.
We'll see. Looks like it's coming back.
And I'm gonna guess it's coming back. Usually on kick returns, the penalties are typically on the returning team. But we'll see
Must look like
what the call is.
they're pointing in the Stout direction.
Let's see what the call is here.
Personal foul, face mask, number 28.
Oh, there we go. Wow. Play will stand.
And a face mask, so the Pointers are going to have this in the red zone to start their drive. If you want to talk about something to boost your momentum as a team, you can't ask for anything better than that kind of return.
Absolutely. Down 14-0, and you're given the ball off of an amazing return, a penalty put into the red zone. I want to see them take advantage of this. Punch this in the end zone. Give your defense some confidence to get back down on the field and get that ball back.
Let's go down.
And they're going to be at the 11-yard line, so if you're Stevens Point, you got to score a touchdown here.
Absolutely. I don't want to say it's urgent, but after a response like going down 14-0, you want to get points on the board. You want to get a touchdown.
And we'll see what the Pointers can do here. Again, not first and goal yet, so they can still get a first down without having to score, but they'll hand it off outside. No, he keeps it Hero,
Ooh.
and he'll get upended here at about the 10. He maybe gains a yard for Hero, 2 yards maybe on the play.
I tell you what, if he makes that defender miss, Hero has a chance that he may have waltzed into the end zone after that play. It was a nice design, just maybe better defense.
6 yards to go for the Pointers.
Yeah, and again, as we talked about their design quarterback run right off the bat here to start their drive, that gets them a few yards here. 2nd and 7 for the Pointers. Shotgun formation, motion receiver, and they'll hand it off.
Wide open.
No, play action pass, and close to the end zone.
Looks like they'll mark him out at the
Going to be
line.
called just short. Is there a...
I'll tell you what, that's exactly the play call I wanted the Pointers to run. A beautiful play action, wide open. Just was unfortunately not able to get in the end zone, but that opens up quarterback sneak. Looks like that's what they're going with.
And they are going with the quarterback sneak. Do they have it?
Quarterback keep by Max Harrell.
No call yet.
And the point thinks it's a touchdown.
Let's call touchdown.
And a called touchdown for the Pointers. So Stevens Point gets in the end zone for the first time of the game. Set up off that great return and penalty as well at the 11-yard line. And it's Max Hero running it in for the quarterback sneak.
I tell you what, we were talking about I want to see a response there. What a way to end the first quarter. Got a great return. Penalty set him up at the 11, was able to punch it in 2 plays.
And now the extra point here.
3 plays.
He's missed a field goal already today, has Victor Ponterio. We'll see the
Blocked.
extra point. It was blocked. And Stout
They touched it.
Oh, and he touched it. Point may have recovered this in the end zone. If so,
Oh, looks like
I haven't seen a play like that really ever.
I
might-
have no idea why Stout went anywhere near that football. But it looked to me as if the Stout player touched it which means that it would be a live ball.
But if it hit the ground in the end zone first, it should be dead.
Yeah, right.
If it hits in the end zone, or if it hits the ground at all, I believe, after the block.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. There you go. Right on the money.
All right, so an interesting explanation there, but at some point, it confirms what we talked about, and it's no good.
Right.
And it's 6 points for the Pointers, no more. But that's the end of the first quarter as well. And with that, we'll take a quick break from the mics here and be back with the second quarter right after this.
Pointers, let us welcome the UWSP Pointers dance team.
It's down to the tunnel there.
Are we muted or is the audio still on? Welcome back, everybody, as we're underway here in the second quarter.
Penalty looks like.
And there's a flag on the field here. It would have been a first down for the Blue Devils, but we'll see what the flag is.
Ooh.
Offensive pass interference called on Arthur Cox, the wide receiver for the Blue Devils.
That hurts the Blue Devils because that was an easy first down pickup, or it looked like first down pickup. Now it puts them back. I want to see the Pointers defense get themselves off the field, get that ball back to the offense, and get themselves back in this game.
Yeah, now it's going to be second and a country mile. Looks like second and 20.
Don't give up those big plays. Be willing to take them down at the boundary.
Yeah, we'll see how Stout plays this. A lot of times teams will be conservative and just be willing to not to punt it and not turn it over.
Don't risk giving your opponent a short field.
Yeah, but sometimes you go for it all. We'll see what Stout does. They're spread all out. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Borgerding dropping back. A little bit of pressure there, throwing over the middle on a drag route and a nice gain there as on the reception. That is Parker Fossum.
Yeah, that was a textbook play on just getting a nice chunk back, make it more reasonable third down, but here's a big play for the Pointers. Get yourselves off the field, get that ball right back, like I said. And
yeah, 3rd and 7 here for Stout. Again, the drag route went 13 yards. Shotgun. Borgerding drops back.
Pressure.
Stepping up in the pocket, and that is a fumble, and the Pointers recover the football. Borgerding thinks he threw it. They're going to say no, a called fumble there. We'll see. We'll get you word on who forced it. And it was Wade Ernstmeyer on the strip sack. So Wade Ernstmeyer has made a couple plays here now there with a strip sack. Borgerding thought that he was throwing it forward, but called the fumble on the field.
We get some information from Ashton Parker to my right. He believes that might have been an interception. It looked like the ball kind of was batted up in the air and kind of gathered there later at the end. Yeah.
It did hit the ground, though.
Absolutely.
It did hit the ground.
But so I mean, look at that. Great defensive possession here. Let's see if the Pointers can take advantage and get themselves right back in this game. Great defensive play there. Nice response by the defense. Let's get that offense going now.
Yeah, now with the Pointers with a short field again here at the 31 of Stout. Dropping back is Hero, that one was close to being picked again as Hero didn't account for the dropping linebacker there, Hayden Miller, but nonetheless it's incomplete to the intended receiver, Markel Outlaw. I'm
going to be completely honest. I have no idea how that football was intercepted. It went right through the defender's hands. I mean, it looked as if Hero threw the ball, intended to go to him. I like the play design, though. Get a nice little chunk yardage to the outside, but that defense seems to have this offense figured out.
Yeah, and Miller, the linebacker, he really just dropped back on that and read it the whole way. So Hero, and that's going to be a little touch pass there to Outlaw, and it's going to gain about 5 or 6 yards, and I think I'd like to see a little bit more plays like that. Make Hero's job easier there at quarterback. Just those short throws. Don't necessarily make him have to throw those 10, 15-yard over the middle throws down the field all the time.
Absolutely. You want to take some of that pressure off of the quarterback. I mean, this defense has been showing up so far for Stout, not making anything easy. Now, 3rd down and long. Let's be careful here. Given a great opportunity, don't want to make any mistakes here.
In motion, man coming. Pistol formation, 2 receivers to the right. Hero play action pass, and a guy coming from his blind side. He's sacked.
Excellent decision.
Hero had no chance there. I don't even know if he saw him coming. Great job by Hero just to hold on to the ball.
Absolutely.
As he's sacked by Gervais Thompson, the outside linebacker coming in.
So unable to get points off of that, but let's talk about that job by Hero to hold on to that football. He got absolutely decked, and the way he was holding that almost looked like he wanted to throw that football last second. If he had the decision to do that, there's a chance there's a fumble, and that may be going the other way. So, man, looks like they're trying a deep field goal.
This
really
would be
interesting play.
A 52-yard field goal.
Really interesting play here.
As, again, they haven't made a field goal all game. They've missed an extra point and missed a field goal. Has Victor Ponterio, and I believe that's still Ponterio kicking.
You would think, I mean, this is an extraordinarily long. Oh, yep.
Okay.
I mean,
So they're just going to try the delay of game to give themselves some more room, I think, to punt it,
Play your
and place it there, back the Stout offense up.
play that field position game. I was gonna say a 52-yard field goal is. I mean, we don't have too windy conditions here today, but that would have been a really tough chance. Let's see if we can get some field position here. Get that kind of close to the end zone. Give your defense to give some pressure here. Ooh, man.
And another penalty.
Another one.
And if it's another delay of game, again, I don't think that'd be a bad thing to do, another delay of game.
Right, give yourself even more room.
No flag, a timeout, I believe, for UW-Stout. So they call a timeout on the field. But again, if the Pointers would have kicked a field goal there, that would have been really questionable, especially because Ponterio has missed his 2 attempts thus far. He missed an extra point and a short field goal. So maybe if he would have made that, maybe you think, okay, yeah, maybe we have a chance. But that's a really long one to ask him to make his first one of the game.
I mean, it would have been a big-time gamble, that's for sure. Saw him miss saw him miss a field goal. Obviously, the extra point was blocked. But, yeah, I mean, say you go for that, you miss it, you give them the football at close to the 35-yard line. I mean, the way that the Stout offense has been going, not much has been put in the way of stopping them other than, that most recent fumble recovery by the Pointers. Unable to do anything. Looks like the defense is going to have to get right back out there and get another stop.
Yeah, and the defense should be helped out here. You'd think they're going to get good field position. At least the Point defense will, hopefully, for their sake, be able to pin them deep. We'll see what the punt and an errant snap. This is a nightmare play for the Pointers. And he's just going to slide down as Ponterio is rather that. Let's see who we got at punter here. Carter Unger, the punter, just had no chance. That's going to lose a good, 50 yards? And just a bad snap, and Stout is set up to score again.
I was talking about earlier in the game, the Pointers were in the red zone, and there was an errant snap, but the defense, it was called on the defense, and there was a penalty that kind of bailed him out. I was wondering, would there be another rough snap like that? And, man, it just sailed right over the punter's head. He did the right thing in not trying to make any further mistakes, but now the defense really has their backs against the walls here.
And just really a sloppy start to this game for the Pointers. Here with some turnovers and a bad snap there. Now Graham running the football, makes a man miss. And he's going to gain about 3 or 4 yards for Graham.
At this stage of the game, you get the football to start the second half after you deferred. So ideally here, you want to stop them from scoring anything at any cost. Force them into a rather long field goal. We've seen both kickers today haven't been outstanding. So let's get this defensive stop here.
And I think it starts with stopping the Stout run game. That's
Absolutely.
really been where their offense has been based around. And they're going to drop back to throw here with Borderding. He's going to the end zone. Receiver falls to the ground, and we're going to get a flag down and a call. It looked like legs just got tangled and the receiver fell. And we'll see. The Point sideline doesn't like the call if it's going to be against them. Neither does the Point fans, but that's to be expected. As we'll see what the call is.
Pass interference, number 20 of the defense. 15-yard penalty for the previous.
And they do call pass interference on Gavin Tachik, the defensive back for the Pointers. And that's a tough pill to swallow there as Stout.
I agree with you. It looked like it got kind of legs tangled up, but also, if Borderding read the wide receiver to his left, they might have had a touchdown. He could not have been more wide open. Not a player within 10 yards of him.
And now 1st and goal for Stout. They hand it to Graham. He's got space. It's a walk-in touchdown for Rayshawn Graham, and Stout goes up 20-6 on Stevens Point as Graham gets his second touchdown of the game, and not a lot going right here in the first half for the Pointers.
No, not a lot going right. That the miscues so far have really been what's haunting the Pointers. Interception by Hero early, giving Stout a short field, and now another short field from a mishandled punt attempt, and chance to go up 21-6.
And now for the extra point, it is up and good, as the Blue Devils go up now 21-6 on the Pointers. And now that Pointers offense, they'll have another chance to try to get things going. Here they had to punt their last drive. The errant snap that resulted into that score. What can the Pointers try and do? Now you're getting into a dangerous territory where you might want to throw it more because you're down a couple of scores. What can the Pointers do here offensively?
Well, you think you want to, like we said in the last drive, you want to take pressure off of Hero. So ideally, you want to get a strong run game going. You want to get your running back a chance to kind of open that up, that pass game for yourself. But like I said, it's really been the miscues that have really been haunting the Pointers at this point. Interception, giving the Blue Devils a short field, and along, like we said, just a snap right over the punter's head, giving them another short field. And 2 plays went right into the end zone, making it a 21-6. So really, I think the focus at halftime is going to have to be eliminating these miscues. But there's, like we said, a lot of time in this game. The Pointers can get the ball down into the end zone, force a stop, maybe take this into halftime only down 7. You give yourself a chance to get right back in it because you get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, and what you don't want to do if you're Stevens Point is try to force something down the field and turn the football over and make this even worse here in the first half. It's still manageable here at 15 points.
Right. I mean, it's like we said, there's a lot of game left. You got an entire quarter plus another half. Just got to play a little bit smarter.
Now the return past the 20-yard line and looks like out of bounds there just past the 25. As on the return, it was Jermaine Moore Jr. On the return, he'll again take it just past the 25 to about the 26-yard line, as that's where Stevens Point will start their drive here. And a lot of the pressure is going to be on quarterback Max Hero here. But again, if you're trying to call plays, trying to scheme this up for the Pointers, again, as you mentioned, you want to try and take some pressure off of him again, because the offensive line has struggled here to pass block here, and you want to try to take some of that pressure.
I don't want to say it's a must-have, but this drive at this point in the game feels like you have to get points on this. You need to respond down 15.
They'll go up the middle on the first play, and that goes for maybe a yard. Looks like just back to the line of scrimmage. As on the carry, that was Yawan Downing on the carry, as it is a gain of about a yard. 2nd and 9 now.
Yeah, looks like a little handoff to the running back, trying to open up that line of scrimmage but there's been nowhere to go. This Stout defense has been for real today.
Yeah, they got linebackers that hit those holes quickly and make plays, and they just have 3 down linemen. They run a 3-4 style defense. They'll go up the middle again, so nothing really doing again. So Point trying to get the run game going, just has not worked.
Now that you're in a 3rd and long situation, this is where you got to be careful. Past 2 drives have not ended well for the Pointers. You want to just take what the defense gives you. If it's a first down, great. If it's short of the first down, take it, punt it, get your defense back out there, but do not make any more errors.
Yeah, and looking at this formation for Stout, they got their safeties playing way up. If you can get a receiver, maybe on the bottom of the screen receiver here down the field, there's not a lot of safety help. They're going to come with a blitz, play-action pass.
Oh, he's open.
And he's going deep, a little underthrown, and that should be
go.
pass interference, and it is. Now, in a play like that, it will be pass interference. Now, Hero underthrew his man, but it's almost a positive that he did, because it forced the Stout defender to run into the Stevens Point receiver.
Absolutely. I mean, you put it right on the money there. There's no way that football would have been caught. He was way underthrown, and the receiver had to honestly slow down a bit. And like you said, that caused the defender, he totally turned around, had no play on the ball, and his only chance was to get up there. I mean, we talked about that earlier in the game. For the Pointers defense, he knew he was beat, and the only play was to try to take him down, because he had no idea whether or not it was going to be right on the money for a walk-in touchdown. In this case, if the Stout player wouldn't have touched him, it would have been incomplete. And now the Pointers got to take advantage of this. They get a free first down there on a 3rd and long. Let's see what they can do with it.
As you mentioned, Pointers getting a break there. We'll see if they can take advantage. Your pistol formation, bunch receiver set, and it'll be an end around. No, they handed up the middle, misdirection there, and that'll gain maybe a yard or two.
And I tell you what, we're talking about, this and that, if this, if that. That end around, if they would have ran it as well as they would have, we would be cheering a touchdown right now. There was a lot of green in front of the wide receiver there.
Yeah, but it'll get him 5 yards there.
Yeah, not
one of the better runs of the game thus far.
Not a bad gain whatsoever.
In that bunch formation again, one receiver out left. And they'll hand it off again, looking to get that run game going. He's got some space. That'll be a good 4 yards for Stevens Point. Is on the carry. It was Versailles Gamble with another carry. So Point getting a couple nice runs there.
Now we're seeing the run game starting to take effect. That'll open up the play action pass or maybe even the quarterback run. Ever since those first couple of drives, we've been seeing Hero run it. Ever since then, we really haven't seen him do it that much. Maybe it's because the Stout defense has just been, stout at that point. But let's see what they do here. 3rd down and 1. I don't want to say that this is 2-down territory, but you do not want to go down by more than 15 points at this point in the game if you're a Pointers fan.
Yeah, it's 3rd and 1. Shotgun formation. They're going to drop back. Quick screen out to Outlaw, and that'll be a first down as he spins, makes a man miss. A good 6-yard reception for Markel Outlaw.
Beautiful play design on a 3rd down and short. Typically, you think of a 3rd down and short play, you think of a run. But Hero puts it right on the money, a beautiful block on the edge, and Outlaw is able to pick up the first down. Pointers now starting to move the ball here.
Yeah, they are. Again, ever since that penalty, they've had 3 nice gains now. Just 5 or 6 yards, but if you get 5 or 6 yards on every play, you're going to score.
Absolutely. We'll see what they do here on first down. I wonder if they're going to take a shot maybe, go towards the end zone here.
They'll stick with what's working, and they're going to lose a yard on the play. Maybe get back to the line. No, that'll be a loss of 1
player
for Gamble.
Down for Stout.
And it looks like a player down on the field injured for UW-Stout. And can't necessarily see who that is, but hopefully he's all right. As be a timeout on the field, and we'll take a quick timeout with it and be back with the rest of the second quarter here on SPTV right after this. All right, welcome back as Pointers here on 2nd and 11 in the shotgun formation. Motion man.
Yeah, one-on-one up at the top here. Looks like that might be where Hero's going.
And he will.
Oh,
he's
got
some separation just out of the reach of the intended receiver. Let's see who the intended receiver was there. I want to say Joe Hare? Joe Hare. It was Joe Hare, the intended receiver, but just out of the reach, just barely overthrown.
Yeah, I mean, I like the play design. Go deep, take it one-on-one coverage. My athlete versus your athlete, and whoever wins, Obviously, Pointers won it, and it was a great play design just over the outstretched fingertips. And let's see here. Are they going to give themselves a chance to go for a short 4th down, or are they going to try to go for all of it right here?
And trips right. Hero drops back. He's got a lot of pressure. He's got no chance. The offensive line just was overwhelmed there as a gang sack there for the Stout Blue Devils, and now it's assuredly going to be a punt for the Pointers.
I mean, now you're forced to go to a punt there after a massive loss. And really, miscues and protection is going to be what the main focus is, I imagine, at halftime. Hero has had very little time to throw that football. The play before that, when unfortunately just overthrew the wide receiver for a touchdown. Now let's see if we can get off a good punt here. Remember last time we had an errant snap. This one's right on the money.
And it's off. Fair catch called for. And Stout will start their drive at the 11-yard line. But you talked about, we have a flag on the field. Let's see what the call is here.
For number 83, Will Knudsen. We have a flag on the play.
Holding. Looks like it's going to be holding against Stout. That's what the motion is. So do you think he can re-kick or?
I think that would just be enforced off the return.
Okay.
I believe.
Yeah.
If it's holding on Stout, it would have been on the return.
Right.
While the ball was in the air.
Okay, absolutely, yeah.
If it was holding on Stevens' point, definitely could be a re-kick.
Right. Looks like the referee's got to get his mic figured
This
out.
will be on Stout, so should just add maybe 10 yards or so back, or I should say subtract 10 yards. Well, it'll be half the distance.
I want to see on this defensive possession, I want to see some pressure here. Get some pressure right in the face of the quarterback. Maybe you can force a mistake here with him right at the back of his own end zone. And
yeah, this is
take
a chance for the
advantage of it.
Pointers to maybe go on the offensive with their defense.
Absolutely.
Here, again, with them backed in their own end zone, really. We got Graham and Borgerding standing in their own end zone. Here at about the 5 or 6. They hand it to Graham, and he is taken down right at the line of scrimmage. And that goes nowhere as a few different point defenders stop the play.
It looks like he fought for one.
Oh, he did.
But, like we said, solid defense by the Pointers on that play. You got to be careful. This offense is loaded with big play threats, and if you're the Pointers, you got to be careful of, playing one-on-one. You don't want to get turned around by the offense here, and before you know it, if you got turned around, you'd be looking at the offensive cleats. So let's see what they can do here. 2nd down and 9.
A shotgun formation, dropping back. Borgerding rolling right, throws it right, and
stepped
out of bounds. I think it's a catch, but it's going to gain about 7 yards. It'll be 3rd and 2, as it was Levi Hammer on the reception. So, 3rd and 1 they'll give it here for Stout.
This is the biggest 3rd down of the game thus far. 3rd down and 1. Seems like a running situation, but they got one wide receiver up to the left of the quarterback. Ooh, late substitutions here. Looks like confusion
the
on
point
the
defense scrambling here. And this is going to be
they got it.
a 1st down as Graham just bulldozes through Stevens' point defenders. And it is a 1st down. So Point not able to take advantage of that field position for Stout.
Right. Pointers have one timeout left. And you would like to see them try to get a stop here, but at this point, the offense has been struggling at this point. Maybe try to limit the damage, take it into halftime, get everything going. But thus far, Stout's offense has been executing to a very high level.
Hey, right. It's really been that run game. They're really doing a nice job in the run game. Now Borgerding drops back, throwing a quick hitch out there. Makes the man miss. This is going to be a 1st down and more. A nice play there as Point. They're just not able to make a tackle on that play. As on the reception, it was Parker Fossum. Fossum was making Point defenders look silly.
I'll tell you what, I think I saw at the top left there was a safety blitz, had a free rush on the quarterback, but I think Borgerding just saw him last second, was able to get that ball out, and like you said, missed tackle. Another miscue for the Pointers, giving Stout easy 1st downs to pick up.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Borgerding did a great job of just stepping up in the pocket and away from that pressure. And a play-action pass, and he wants to go deep, but he'll throw the quick hitch out there, and this will barely get back to the line of scrimmage. And it does get just back to the line of scrimmage as it was the reception from Arthur Cox.
Looks like Borgerding wanted to go deep to Levy Hemmer on that play, but kind of took the check down, and Pointers were able to get a stop.
Yeah, it looks like they were trying to fake out the Pointers defense, make them think they were going for that screen and then go deep. But everyone for Stevens Point went deep, so that screen was open and gain of nothing, 2nd and 10. And they'll hand it back to Graham. Graham fighting for yardage, and he just does not stop churning those legs as he gains 3 yards.
As a quarterback, that has got to be something you love to see. A running back is just fighting for that extra yardage. That takes some time off of your that takes some pressure off of your shoulders when you got a running back who's willing to get down there and get right below his pads and push that forward. So another big 3rd down. If the Pointers can get off the field and give themselves a chance to get some points before halftime, that would be big because remember, they get the ball to start the second half. No running backs in the backfield.
That's a 3rd and 7 here. This has been what Stout has gone to on these 3rd and longs. No running backs, 5 receivers set. And Borgerding drops back, and he's got a lot of space to run. He'll have the 1st down. So nice play there by Borgerding, and he gains a good 9 or 10 yards for the 1st down.
Man, couldn't have asked for better protection in the secondary, but there's that mobility of Borgerding that just burned the Pointers, and another hard 3rd down. Now at this point you think with just under a minute and a half, you want to limit the damage here and don't give up any points.
And the 5 receiver set again as he drops back, steps up, goes deep.
Oh, boy.
And hits the helmet of the receiver, intercepted.
Man.
Stevens Point with the interception. And that's a nice play to have here towards the end of the half. As on the interception, it was Yawan Downing off the deflection. That went off the helmet of the receiver, Levi Hammer, and Point will have a shot to score before half.
I tell you what, if the Stout wide receiver catches that football, the ball is maybe inside the 10-yard line. Instead, hits him right in the helmet. Point able to take advantage of a miscue not happening much on that offensive side from Stout. Not many miscues, but let's see if Point can take advantage. You're deep into your own territory. Try not to make any mistakes and take what the defense gives you.
Yeah, no doubt. In a minute and 8 seconds for Stevens Point with 1 timeout to try to score. And they'll drop back to pass there, and he's going deep into triple coverage, and good for Hero that he overthrew that, because if he would have put that one where it was supposed to be, that would probably have been intercepted.
I was thinking maybe he was going to go with the wheel route to Jermaine Moore Jr. there. Was open for a little bit, but that Stout defense was able to close that off. And, man, that is kind of a head-scratcher there. Triple coverage. That could have ended very, very poorly.
Yeah, and you obviously want to score before half, but you don't want to just be giving the ball right back to them on 1st down. And they'll hand it off, and that will go for maybe a yard. Looks like just back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 10. And now you got to start thinking, if you're Stevens Point, maybe just running this clock out.
Absolutely, and looks like Stout maybe took a timeout. They have 2 left, a chance to get that ball back. And you have to think, if Stout were to put it in the end zone at one point, that might be a gut punch. That might put a seal on. I don't want to say that too early. There's obviously an entire half of football left. But the way that this football game has played, Stout has really outplayed the Pointers thus far. And we got it now in this 3rd down and 10 play here. You got to be incredibly safe here. Don't throw it to a heavily contested window and give them another short field.
Yeah, and really just not a lot has gone well offensively for the Pointers here in the first half. Their only touchdown, their only score was off of that kick return where they were at the 11-yard line. And they really just had to get 11 yards to get a touchdown. They did it to their credit, but outside of that, they have really struggled to really run the ball, to throw the ball, and really everyone deserves equal blame in all of that. The offensive line has struggled. We've seen Hero make some questionable decisions this far, but we'll see if Point can try to swing this thing around and make some adjustments here. But they look like they're going to try to get a play going here and not just run it down. They will throw. And just a quick screen, that's incomplete as Hero just kind of missed him there.
That's another interesting play call because with an incomplete pass, Stout doesn't have to use their last timeout. And so they're going to get the ball back with a timeout. And so I get you want to be aggressive, but at one point you got to understand, let's just take this into halftime with what we got. Let's not risk any more damage. And it really saves Stout from like I said, it saves a lot of seconds. It's like a free timeout that they got them. So another really questionable call here. And now this is not easy. This is a punt from your own end zone. We saw a snap over the head earlier.
And it is punted away. That is a very short punt. And it's going to roll out of bounds at maybe the 50. Yeah, right around the 50. They'll say at the point 49. So Stout is going to have 42 seconds and one timeout to try to score. That's not out of the question for this team, especially with a quarterback like Borgerding, who seems he at least has a big arm.
Absolutely.
That we've seen today. So
he's made some really, really nice throws. We saw that 33-yard touchdown pass at the latter end of the first quarter. And right now, if you're the Pointers, you want to limit the damage. Don't give up big plays. And if you're beat, do what we said earlier. Just tackle them. Don't force or don't allow any more touchdowns.
Yeah, here's shotgun formation, a quick out route and a completion. Nice play there. Those are the plays you want.
That was a time left. Beautiful play call. Borgerding putting it right on the money, saving the timeout going out of bounds. Just a chunk play. And if you're the Pointers, your main goal right now is if you're going to give up a play like that, tackle them in bounds. Force them to use that last timeout.
Yeah, and what you obviously don't want is giving up anything towards the end zone.
Absolutely.
It's almost a prevent defense stop. Yeah, you want to keep them in bounds if you can. Borgerding, that's going to be caught? Incomplete. And so that was going to be a tough one. Borgerding with a nice effort there.
Absolutely. Ooh, and a late flag thrown. Late, very late.
And is it over in that area of the
Yeah.
reception? So maybe a late hit. He was out of bounds.
It
We'll
looked
see what
like,
the call is.
To me, there were no players around there, so it looked like maybe an unsportsmanlike conduct against Stout because that's the only thing I can think of. Maybe that or sideline warning.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 15 of the offense.
There you go.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Ooh, offsetting penalties, I think.
Number 47
Yep.
of the defense. 27. Those penalties offset. The down counts. Third down.
So offsetting penalties for two unsportsmanlike conducts, one on Stevens Point, it was on Jawan Downing, and the other one was on Stout, Arthur Cox. Those will offset, and it'll be 3rd and 4 for the Blue Devils.
Once again, another big third down. You get a stop here. I don't know. I don't think they're going to try that long of a field goal. You'd think it's punting situation.
And that's going to be a moot point as that's a first down and a nice play there. It looks like that was Levi Hammer. And again, a missed tackle for this Pointer secondary.
They're playing fast here, not wanting to waste that timeout left. Just under 20 seconds here.
It was Morgan missing the tackle there for Stevens Point. They're going for it here again. Short throw, and that's going to stay in bounds. They're going to have to use their timeout, 10 seconds. And I think Stout's going to be content with trying the field goal here.
You would think that or one last quick shot to the end zone.
They may have a chance at that, yeah.
With, looks like, wow, they stopped and started the clock. It was at 8 seconds. Now it's at 4.
I'm going to guess that gets adjusted. I thought they called it at 8 seconds.
Yeah, you would think so. With 8 seconds left, you got one play at max to throw it to the end zone. Other than that, you're playing for 3 points here. But with how this offense has been playing so far, you would think, like, even just only allowing a field goal. I mean, we haven't seen these players, these kickers haven't been, out of this world good so far. So, I mean, with accuracy wise, I'm sure they've got the leg, but accuracy has been a problem today. And just only giving up a field goal at this point, if you're the Pointers defense, has got to feel like a win.
Yeah, and we'll see what Stout decides to do. Right now, they still have 4 seconds on the clock, so until that's changed, we'll just go off what we got on the clock, which is 4 seconds, which that's definitely probably not enough time to try to take an end zone
absolutely
shot.
not. I mean, at max, as soon as you take the snap, you're going to have 2 seconds before you throw the ball. So it's got to be, this has to be a field goal.
That's what we'd expect. As it is 4 seconds.
Looks like they're
So
setting the field goal unit.
If it's 4 seconds,
wow.
that's really a poor job of Stout in getting that timeout in time.
Absolutely.
They let 6 seconds go off the clock before they called the timeout. And now, maybe they were thinking they were going to kick it anyways, which they're not going to kick.
No,
they're going to go for the end
going
zone.
for it.
So maybe they not enough confidence in the kicker to try and make this.
Maybe they're going for a knockout punch right now, is Stout. But looks like I think they're talking about the time. I think that's what head coach.
Yes, so it is reset to 8 seconds. We had it right up here. We were right on the money.
And that's what
right
head coach Clay Brigham was talking about. He said 4 seconds left. My team has. That's why he sent out his offense. He thought he had a few shots at the end zone.
And that explains, why he's sending out his offense here. Yes. Spread formation, dropping back, going to the end zone, fade route. It's caught for a touchdown as Stout puts up another 6 points before the half, as it is Levi Hammer on the grab for Stout, and not what you want for Stevens Point. Again, you give up a touchdown there, and that really makes you go back and think. Again, you talked about it. They went with that pass play the Pointers did on third down, their last drive that stopped the clock. If you run the football there, you force Stout to call a timeout. Maybe that makes it a lot harder for them to get that there.
Well, I mean, they don't have that timeout there, so they wouldn't have the timeout to call that last play, so they definitely would not have had the time to get that play up. And so it was essentially a free 7 points that they just gifted UW-Stout, and now the Pointers are in a deep, deep hole, and they get the ball to start the second half. Let's see if they can get some momentum, go down the field, score a touchdown, and make this game competitive. But as of right now, Stout is just asserting their will on the Pointers.
Yeah, there's not a lot to take away from this first half of anything positive for the Pointers. Defensively, it's been a tough go of it. They haven't really stopped the run or the pass. Offensively, they haven't really been able to run or throw. They're down 28-6 here with 3 seconds left in the first half. But again, just a costly moment in the game right there. Again, because now you're down 22. If you're down 15 and you get the ball at half, if you score at halftime, it's a one-score game. But now you score, you're still down 2 touchdowns.
And we don't mean to sound pessimistic to all those Pointers fans. There is still an entire second half of this game, and there's going to be a serious conversation at halftime. But that is a major mistake that may have big-time implications on this outcome of that game.
Yeah, and there's definitely a difference between being pessimistic and realistic.
And
I think
that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
I think we are being just realistic.
Absolutely.
28-6 in the first half. I don't think any Pointers fan or player or coach is happy on 28-6.
Football out of bounds.
And it did go out of bounds, so
maybe one shot to the end zone
chance,
on a Hail Mary. You got a Hail Hero, is what Ashton said. I like that. I like the sound of that, actually.
Yeah, and we'll see. So it is out of bounds, and they're going to take the ball at the 35. So if he can get this to the end zone at the 35, that's quite an arm. That's an NFL arm.
That would be one heck of a throw. I say just take a knee, take it to halftime.
Yeah, maybe a knee or maybe a quick screen, but it looks like they're just going to take the knee. They're in the. Oh no, they're in the pistol formation. Never mind.
3 players deep.
They're
going to
try something.
They're worried. They don't want. Oh man.
And they'll just hand it off. and making a man miss, but that'll do it down at the 41. He gets a few yards as that was Versailles Gamble. But that'll do it for the first half as Stevens Point down to UW-Stout 28-6 at halftime, and we'll take a quick break and be back with a quick halftime breakdown and then your second half right after this on SPTV. Welcome back, everybody. As there's about less than 5 minutes left here in halftime, the Pointers down to the UW-Stout Blue Devils, 28-6 at halftime. Now Ashton Parker joins us here on SPTV. And Ashton, what are your thoughts here on the first half? What can the Pointers do to try to cut into this deficit in the second half?
All right, so what I think the Pointers have to do is they really just have to tighten things up in terms of pretty much everything. It's been just a really rough game to watch through this first half. You know, lots of incompletes, lots of turnovers. We had we thought we had a bit of a turning point happening in that first quarter with that big kickoff return, but that just seemed to be just like a one-off thing where you know, you had a slight bit of hope, but nothing really came out of it. You know, we still have that second half, but it's just been Max Hero's passing today has just been pretty rough altogether. He's either really short, or he's overthrowing it, or he's throwing it right to a defender. He's not really being able to find his targets very well. And, you know, during the first quarter, he was actually doing really well in terms of the running. He had some really good runs there that got some distance, but it's just been that throwing that has been really rough because UW-Stout has been able to stop the running from UWSP. And it's just been, yeah, like I said earlier, it's just been a really rough first half. And if it's me, I would say you just have to tighten things up. You have to. The offense has to get going. You need to score points on the board, and I don't think the defense is doing that bad of a job. They're not doing good, but you know, they're trying their best to keep UWSP in this game. You know, they did have that one interception in the second quarter that tried to bring some life into the offense, but that didn't go anywhere. And we've just had a couple questionable decisions by the coach, mainly that last play, that last drive in the second quarter, where they, instead of taking the knee and, you know, being down by only 15 points, they decided to go for it, missed it, and then Stout was able to take it back and score a touchdown. I think that was just really, really head-scratching, really confusing. So I think overall, tying things up, you know, the offense needs to get going, and I think that's my thoughts of this game currently.
Yeah, no, I mostly agree with you. Yeah, Point offense has struggled. Their defense has struggled. Other than, you're right, they forced that turnover, and the one play that you correctly called in the first half that was an interception that I thought hit the ground, it was a fumble. So Sean Borgerding has thrown 2 picks. The Pointer defense has forced 2 turnovers here in that first half, which is if you're looking at a plus in that first half, he got one there. But yeah, offensively, as you mentioned, not a lot has been working. Really, all that has been working is Max Hero running the football. At quarterback, he's got 8 carries for 42 yards and a touchdown. So I would expect to see more designed runs for Max Hero in the first half, because outside of him, it's Rasayan Gamble with 9 carries, 21 yards. Forbes has got a carry for no yards. Carter Unger, no yards on a carry. Not much else in the run game outside of Hero doing it himself. And then, yeah, Hero in the pass game, he's 5 for 15, 1 interception, 22 yards. He's been sacked twice. It's been a struggle for him in the pass game. So I would expect maybe some more option play, some read option, some speed option to try to get Max Hero out on the edges and try and get him going. But, yeah, you're right. It just hasn't been much offensively that there's to look at. And as far as Stout's concerned, they're kind of the opposite. They've done well running the football. Rayshawn Graham's got 12 carries for 76 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first half. He's had a nice half for himself. And then passing the ball, Sean Borgerding is 11 for 18 with 135 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air. He does have the 2 picks. So outside of the turnovers for the Stouts offense, they've done a nice job in the first half. But yeah, if you're the Pointers, I think you want to try to force some more turnovers, but really stop Stout from getting so much yardage as they have in the first half. Again, rushing yards for Stout, they got 103 rush yards in the first half and 135 pass yards. They're on pace for almost 500 total yards in the game. The Points got to figure that out. And
I think really this first drive of this half is really going to set the tone for the half. If they can get like a score here, if they can get a touchdown here, I think there's a chance that they're able to come back, but they need to score here. They get the ball for the second half because they did win the coin toss. So I really think this is going to be a crucial drive right here. And
Agreed.
I'm gonna bring it back to Will.
Agreed. And if Stevens Point is not able to get into the end zone this drive, it really might be a long half for this Pointers team.
Yeah, there's some great insight there by Ashton. But yeah, I basically agree with everything you guys said. This has turned into a must-need points on this drive.
And Stout will kick off their second kickoff of the game, and that'll go back into the end zone for a touchback. And UWSP will take it at the 20-yard line. 25, rather. My mistake. As we'll see Max Hero coming back out at quarterback, and really that offensive line is going to be a big key here in the second half. They struggled to protect Hero. They struggled to block the run a lot of times, and they're going to be the key here in the second half.
Absolutely. I mean, that one interception that Hero threw in his own territory, as much as, he shouldn't have thrown that the amount of pressure that was in his face just kind of caused him to panic, and really that offensive line has not given him a lot of time in the pocket today. We'll see if they can improve from after halftime here.
Oh,
penalty to start, just like how we started the game.
Yeah, flag right away.
These are too many.
Thrown by the back judge there.
Men. False start.
Not sure. The
Delay of game.
microphone not working. Yeah, so a delay of game called as not the way you want to start the half if you're trying to get things going for the Pointers offense.
Definitely not.
1st and 15. Pistol formation. They're going to go play action pass, roll them out right, get a completion here. It's going to be about a 10 or 12 yard gain. So Hero, nice completion there to get things started.
Well, that is a perfect call out of halftime. Get your quarterback going in a rhythm. Nice little easy completion. Brings up an easier second down.
Yeah, and it's Joe Hare on the reception there, as it'll be 2nd and a long 4. Two receivers set.
Richie Martin was in motion.
Hero, play action pass, got defenders all over him, and he's going to get sacked. He made one miss, but no chance for Hero on that play.
Yeah, like we said, how the offensive line is a key. I mean, they were just blown off the line there, wide open or unblocked. Rushers just able to take down Hero. Fortunately, didn't lose any yardage on that.
Yeah, just right at the line of scrimmage. He maybe even gained a yard. Yeah, they're going to say he gained a yard. So 3rd and 3. It won't be a sack. It'll be a 1 yard run for Hero.
See what they have. They're running back in the backfield here.
Yeah, 5 receivers set. And he's going to tuck it and run it. And a good decision as he's going to have the first down. So Hero with the 5 yard carry. And again, if Point wants to score some points, I'm going to imagine we're going to see a lot more of Hero using his legs.
Absolutely. I mean, if there was any bright spot in the offense in the first half, it was Hero's legs. That's what got them points on the board, and it got him a first down to start the second half here. So look to see him use more of that to start this second half.
And they'll have 2 receivers out to the left here and 2 running backs, 1 flanking left, 1 behind Hero. Motion man, Hare, they hand it up the middle, and they'll gain maybe 2 or 3 on the run. And on that carry, it was Versine Gamble, rather.
Now that run didn't go. That run didn't go for much, but it does give them options of play action pass now that the run has been moderately successful here. Ooh, nice. Got him to jump a bit. Could have maybe had a free play there.
And no call. This Hero drops back, rolling right, now stepping up. He wants to go deep. He's going to go intermediate, and it's caught by Hare. And that's a nice throw and catch there. Good 20 or so yard gain on the sideline for Hare.
we were talking about in the first half, he kind of threw a little fluttering footballs in the first half in the end zone. That there was a strike right there. Perfect pass, nice pickup. Now the offense is rolling a bit. Let's see if we need to get this into the end zone, get themselves right back in this football game.
Yeah, the important part is putting it in the end zone because, like we saw, their first drive, really, to start this game, this offense looked great, and they sputtered out at the end. If they can finish this off and score a touchdown, it'll do wonders for their momentum, for their confidence in their momentum here in the second half.
I mean,
as we're seeing Gamble.
That's exactly it. If you get yourself on the board, put 7 points up there, that gets the defense fired up. All of a sudden, they get a stop. Things are getting going. Getting momentum is key here.
And we're seeing Gamble with the 1-yard run at 2nd and 9 as the Stout defensive lineman jumped a free play. This is a free play going to the end zone to Hare, and it's picked off, but it doesn't matter. Again, it's going to be an offsides or encroachment call or a neutral zone infraction, whichever they call it. It's a free play for Stevens Point, and they're going to gain some yards here.
Even though it was intercepted, I love that kind of, Aaron Rodgers really patented that. Take your shot. You get a free play because it can't hurt you. So I love that he took a shot here, but I want to see that again here. 2nd down and manageable. I want to see we saw him do that nice strike for a first down here. I want to see deeper passes here. That opens up the run game if they have to respect that deep pass game.
Yeah, and you're right. It doesn't hurt you at all. That interception, definitely take that shot is what you should do in that situation. Now the handoff up the middle, and this will be just short of the first down marker, about 3rd and 1. Maybe a long one, maybe a 2, and it's for seeing Gamble on the carry once again. It is 3rd and 2. No huddle.
I mean, you'd have to think if they gain nothing here, this is 4th down territory.
You would think so. I cannot imagine an attempted field goal or punt from this spot on the field. And they'll hand it off up the middle again. Gamble
nice
making a man miss. It'll be close. They're going to mark him just short, inches short. It'll be 4th and 1. So here's that situation we talked about. You think you got to go for it, and it looks like they will.
Absolutely.
You got to get this if you're Stevens Point. Again, to have another drive sputter out at the end like this and not get any points is going to be a tough pill to swallow.
4th down and short typically is run here, but let's see if they do a quarterback run.
Yeah, they're way back, running back way back in the backfield. They'll give it to him, and he stopped short. He maybe even lost a yard, and that'll be a turnover on downs for Stevens Point as, again, the initial part of their drives don't look horrible here, but they just can't finish these drives off.
There was just absolutely no hole there for Gamble to get through. The defensive line has just gobbled up those running lanes, and I mean, all credit to Stout's defense. They have just been a thorn in the Pointers' side today.
Yeah, you got to think maybe if it were me, maybe a read option there would have been the play to go with to give that option for Hero to keep it.
Absolutely.
Instead of just a straight handoff that hasn't been extremely successful for you. And now, speaking of not successful, never mind. Graham is a running back where it looks like he's corralled in the backfield and he's going to get stuffed, and he just kind of scoots out of there and fights forward for 4 or 5 yards.
Man, I mean, it looked like the Pointers had him dead in the water, but he was able to pick up 5 yards on that. I mean, he keeps those legs turning, and that offensive line has opened up some nice holes for him today.
Yeah, again, as you mentioned, he just doesn't stop moving those legs, and those are really the best running backs to have. It's 2nd and 5 as Graham going for 100 yards today. And now a quick screen pass, and this looks to be set up pretty well, and it'll get some nice yardage. Just about a 10-yard, 12-yard gain for Stout and a first down for Stout. And the reception and the first down was made by Bradley Sauer. Bradley Sauer, rather.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a perfect screen call totally had the defense fooled. I mean, they ran that to perfection.
Yeah, back in that pistol formation. Both these teams run such similar offenses. And a quick bubble screen out there, and that's going to gain some yardage. It's easily a first down. He stays in bounds. He's got space. Cutting back across the field, and this could go the distance, and it will. Touchdown, Stout. And on the reception, it's Arthur Cox. So Arthur Cox with the 53-yard touchdown catch, or the 45-yard touchdown catch on the play. And he took a bubble screen about 50 yards.
That play is set up by the athleticism of Arthur Cox, along with the fantastic blocking downfield. I mean, Stout just found a defender and just eliminated him. And then Cox used that speed and just took it to the end zone. And that may be the knockout punch here.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 15 of the offense.
And that's his second unsportsmanlike conduct. I think Arthur Cox will be ejected. Yeah, so Arthur Cox. So after the play, Arthur Cox gets called for an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Now that penalty won't be enforced till the kickoff, but called for his second unsportsmanlike, which means he's ejected. So Arthur Cox gets that touchdown and then immediately is disqualified.
I mean, we couldn't see it from here, but I mean, totally unnecessary. I mean, must have been some celebration at the end. You make a fantastic play, celebrate with your team, and walk out.
Yeah, and to get called for two of those, not great for Cox, but nonetheless, it's still a touchdown for Stout. And if you're Stevens' point on that play, if you're looking at it from a defensive perspective, you really can't allow a guy to take it from the far side of the field, that left sideline, and reverse his field completely to that opposite side.
Absolutely. I mean, as amazing as the offense was, I mean, missed tackles have been part of the problem why they're down 35-6. I mean, you said multiple times it seems like the Pointers are going to get him in the backfield. Or we just see multiple missed tackles today, and Cox was able to take advantage of the poor tackling and just prance his way into the end zone.
Yeah, and
there
again,
he goes. He's walking him to the locker room.
Yeah, as you mentioned, this is going to be a tough one to come back from in this game, at least, for the Pointers. Down 29 now, 35-6. And now when you're down this big, I think it's less about necessarily coming back and winning. Obviously, if your point, you want to try to win the game, but it's more to try to get yourself some confidence going into the next week. And
absolutely.
Point's going to, if you think about it, I mean, again, this game's not over. We still got a quarter and a half to play, but maybe not a better time for that bye week to come. For
absolutely.
Stevens' point here, getting beat so far like this in this game.
Well, like you said, there's not a lot. There's still a lot of time left. But the way that this game has been playing out, it feels as if they're going to be playing for confidence at this point. I mean, to this point, it's not really selling it short. Stout has really kind of been exposing some of the weaknesses that this team may have. I mean, predominantly that offensive line today, they've had a few plays that, they gave Heroes some nice protection on some deep passes, but the Blue Devils have essentially been living in the backfield. Hero has had no time to pass, and that may go out of bounds. It will.
And it will. So another one. It's happened a few times already here in this game. So Point's going to have nice field position starting at their own 35. Again, I mean, we've obviously been focusing on Stevens' Point here, but again, give credit to that Stout offense and defense. They've came ready to play today.
Absolutely.
In their first conference game of the year.
I mean, other than some of those two interceptions, I mean, Sean Borgading has been playing a fantastic football game, throwing strikes to all his wide receivers, and he's just been executing at a level. I mean, he may not be making all the flashiest plays, but he's their field general, and I mean, he's just been executing incredibly. It looks like they may re-kick here, choosing to re-kick. But like I said, Borgading has just been playing a great game, and he's really taking advantage of some of those mistakes that the Pointers have been made.
Yeah, and he has those two interceptions, but if we think back to those two, his first one was the one where his arm was hit, and it looked like it was maybe a fumble, but it was caught, so not necessarily his fault on that one.
No.
And then his second one, it hit his receiver in the face.
Absolutely. I mean, neither of those were directly his fault. It was more of kind of circumstantial that the Pointers were able to get it. And the thing is, neither of those interceptions really turned into points. So they may show up as picks on the score sheet, but nothing came from them. So it's almost like an end of the half interception. There was no damage done from it.
Yeah, so Sean Borgerding he's really been great today for that Stout offense. And now Point's going to try. Here's there at the 50. And that time another sack for Stout. And there it looked like maybe Hero held on a little too long.
Yeah, I mean, he would have had a chance at that deep kind of post route, but Rex Michael able to just eat that up and took Hero down for what seems to be the millionth sack of the day.
Yeah, so Hero goes down with the sack again there. Not great protection, but Hero maybe could have got rid of that one a little quicker. But here now it'll be 2nd and long, but 2nd and 14. Hero drops back, rolls right, steps up, and he's sacked again. And that I think that's another situation where he should have just thrown that one away.
That one is more kind of a coverage sack. The defense, he had nowhere to throw it, and you're right. He should have just thrown it, lived to see another down. But I mean, we got to give credit where credit's due. This Stout defense has been phenomenal today. With the way they've been playing today, they'll keep them in any game.
Yeah, and their defensive structure is really interesting. Again, they have that 3-4 style. Really more of in pass downs, it falls to more of a 3-3. But they send some blitzes with those linebackers that are some really interesting stunts they do on their defensive line, and it's been creating pressure as this is going to be a middle screen, and it's going to go absolutely nowhere. As maybe gets a few yards, but it's going to be 4th and about 13 for Stevens Point. They're probably going to have to punt unless they want to go for it.
I mean, at this point, you don't want to give them half of a field to go down. So, but like we said, at this point, it's more of a pride. Get yourself feeling good. Make some plays at the end of this game. In all likelihood, you may not come back and win it, but if you can make some positive plays going into a bye week, you get an entire week to prepare for your next team, which is UW-Eau Claire, and you have that game at home. So, it takes a nice Pointers bounce.
Yeah, there's a good punt there. Good punt there by Carter Unger, the junior. And we'll see if the defense can try to hold them here. As, again, with the Pointers not having a game next week, going to have a lot of film to watch and a lot of stuff to work on here heading into their next conference game 2 weeks from now against Eau Claire here in Stevens Point.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Every time you play a game in this conference, it feels like an in-state rival. And so what's a learning experience for the Pointers is they'll get to play this team again. And with the tape that they'll have, okay, so this is what the play they like to run the most. So they will have tape of what this team will run for the next game. So like you said, this is kind of the first real test, and this is a benchmark. They can only get better from here. So
that's the way to look at it, as Graham, just again, that's just a guy you really don't want to tackle as a defender, a guy that just keeps coming at you like that.
I mean, Rayshawn Graham, we were talking about Borgerding having a great time. He's had a fantastic game too. He may not have made like all the flashy plays and had 98-yard touchdown runs, but I mean, he has been a physical force in this offense.
He's one of those guys that just gets you 5 or 6 yards every time he touches the ball, which those are the guys that keep your offense flowing well and just keep everything full steam ahead, as that's going to be a completion for a first down. As again, Borgerding just seems so calm and composed back in that pocket. And part of that is the fact that this offensive line for Stout has done a nice job, but also he's just so composed back there, just making decisions. And Borgerding he's just had a nice game.
No, absolutely, and I don't want to say, you'd think, they're up 35-6. Why is the offense in there? Well, next week they're going to play at UW-Whitewater, the number 2 team in the country, as man, he just keeps those legs churning. But
he does.
But the Blue Devils are heading up to play at UW Whitewater, the number 2 team in Division III football. And you may think, oh, well, it seems a little overkill. Well, there's a reason they're doing this. They want to keep that confidence going. And if you're the Pointers, you want to get rid of some of that confidence. You want to get a stop here. You want to show them that, yeah, we may be down by this much, but we still have fight in us.
Yeah, especially since this is the first conference game for either of these teams. I'm not sure when we'll see this guy. Maybe if Stout puts up another touchdown, you might see the Scout team come in there. But, yeah, no reason right now. Again, with a tough matchup coming next week for Stout, you want to stay in rhythm. And he's going deep as Borgerding, and that's going to be just overthrown. And maybe a good idea that it was overthrown. There was 2-point defenders in the area.
Absolutely.
And Parker Fossum, the intended receiver on the play. It'll be 3rd and 8 for the Blue Devils.
And, you know, we talked about how kind of the Pointers have struggled to get off the field off the 3rd down. That's going to be something they need to address for next matchup. I mean, the inability to get off the field on 3rd down has really, really hurt them this evening.
Yeah, it has, and they haven't really been 3rd and short. See, like, this is 3rd and 8. This is not an easy one to pick up, and they won't pick that one up. So, as we talk about 3rd down defense,
oh, man, they might have.
Oh, and you're right. You're right, so scratch that. That's a 1st down. Again, as you just mentioned, Point struggled to get off the field on 3rd down, and it's not like that was 3rd and short where it's an easy one to pick up. That's 3rd and long. You gotta try to be able to make a play on that.
The crossing routes have really been what's hurting. I mean, we saw a bubble screen get taken to the end zone, but these crossing routes have really been what frees them up.
Yeah, those Stout receivers definitely showing their speed and route running ability. Again, they're just kind of breaking away from these Stevens Point defensive backs and linebackers. As dropping back to pass again. Borgerding looking to run, and he's going to get hit hard there. As he's down. Now that's one you probably don't want if you're UW-Stout. You don't want your quarterback taking big shots like that up by 30.
He's been playing a fantastic game. No reason to put yourself in any danger. And when you're up by that much, I mean, I know you want to play as a competitor. You want to keep playing. But don't risk getting yourself hurt. You got a massive game next week. If they lose their starting quarterback, you have to think that their chances are not going to be great.
Yeah, especially when, and we talked about Graham and how well he's run the football, which he has, he just continues to fall forward. He really reminds me a little bit, again, Ezekiel Elliott in the NFL. He's a running back that doesn't get a lot of big plays, but he keeps those feet. He just falls forward a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
He just falls forward, and
he's a physical back, and there's really no way other to describe it other than he is just running through tacklers like they're hurdles. Like it's been pretty incredible to watch.
Yeah, and that's the guy that he doesn't skip leg day.
No. Certainly doesn't look like it.
Stevens Point defenders are just bouncing off of him as he just falls forward. Fun to watch, but we talk about Borgerding. Yeah, you lose a quarterback like that. He's the guy that's really getting their big plays going with it when it's as a bomb deep downfield. Speaking of big plays, and that's incomplete on the play.
Man, was there a big-time hit on a blitz there, and we were talking about how Graham is just keeping those legs churning. He just absorbed that hit. Physical runner.
Yeah, and he's been the guy all game that's getting those first 6 or 7, but then Borgerding comes in at quarterback, and he's getting those big plays in the passing game. So, again, we go back to him taking that hit. I'd be surprised if we see him at least diving forward like that the rest of this game. That was a nice punt here. And the fair catch called for there by Joe Hare. And the Pointers will take over at, looks like the 27-yard line is where their drive will start.
But yeah, no, we're kind of in a time where let's see if we can get some positive plays going as Hero will come back out on field. I thought for a second I didn't see him, but yeah, I mean, offense has struggled a bit. Anything positive at this point would be a welcome sight for Pointers.
Yeah, just to try to get some rhythm offensively, get something going. The play action pass rolling out right and completed.
Nice catch.
A low and behind throw, but yeah, great catch there.
Oh, they're saying incomplete.
Okay. Yeah, and he was open. Really just a bad throw on the play.
And that's
there.
not an easy throw, rolling out to your.
There's a flag down. It was thrown way over here, deep in the secondary. So I'm curious to see what that call is. The ref from.
Oh.
Okay.
There is no penalty. It's simply a warning.
So a sideline warning on Stevens' point, and assuming probably on head coach Greg Breitbach.
Another one of those, and it will be a penalty.
Yes, it will.
But
so tempers running high.
Right. This is just a time where you got to try to keep your cool. I know you're down by a lot, but if tempers start flaring, then more mistakes will be made.
And the handoff up the middle goes nowhere. Once again, it's going to be 3rd and long for Stevens Point.
Yeah, I mean, not much really could be said at this point. The Stout defense has been just locking this offense up, and we were talking about it. They need to see something positive. If they can get at least half this down and distance down, maybe they'll, being down by so much, maybe they'll go for it, or just seeing any gain of yardage at this point will be a nice thing to see.
Yeah, and they're in shotgun formation here as Hero drops back, looking deep down the left sideline. He's got a man open, and it's caught. A great gain there, as that is Markel Outlaw. And that's a good 40 to 50 yard reception for Outlaw. So nice throw there by Hero.
So you know how we were talking about seeing positive things going. An analogy I can make is when you're playing a game in basketball, and let's say you're 0 of 8, just seeing the ball go through the net can be a confidence booster.
Yeah.
So seeing a big play like this can give the Pointers potential confidence going into their bye week, getting them ready to get ready for that next game against UW-Eau Claire.
And no doubt about it, and we'll see again. Can they finish off the drive, though, is the question.
Absolutely.
That's what they've been struggling with today. And
Oh,
wow, and that's going to be a drop pass and a flag now on the field thrown.
Are they gonna get another sideline?
I'm not sure here.
Because it didn't look like there was any infraction by the defense.
Yeah,
so
I didn't think there was a late hit or anything like that.
maybe an ineligible player downfield.
As the intended receiver was Richie McMartin, the fullback. So he just kind of dropped it over the middle. See what the call is.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 14 of the defense. 15-yard
Wow.
penalty. First down.
So unnecessary roughness called on the Blue Devils. Charlie Pierce. Yes, Charlie Pierce of the Blue Devils.
Well, the Blue Devils defense is kind of shrugging, wondering what in the world was that about.
I think
and
they called it on the hit to McMartin, which I wouldn't agree with.
Yeah, I mean, what else is he supposed to do? He's supposed to make a play, and to me, it didn't look malicious. It didn't look like there was any malicious intent. It looked like he was just trying to make a play. So questionable call there.
Yeah, I don't know if he led with his helmet. I don't recall that he did, but nonetheless, Will Hero now rolling right. He's going to run the football. He's got some green grass out there, and he'll go out of bounds at about the 5. They'll mark him at the 7. So nice run there from Hero, and we really haven't seen as much of that as we thought we would here in the second half.
No, I mean, when the Pointers were going on their first drive of the game, when they were going down the field to try to put themselves up 7-0, I mean, that was the successful play. Hero using his legs to get himself into the open and get down the field. And to your point, they hadn't really done that in the second and up to that point. So that'll be something to focus on in the future.
And now 2nd and 1 rather. Here is dropping back again. Hero Now wide open man in the end zone. Touchdown Pointers, as that is Joe Hare on the touchdown. He's had more than a couple of receptions here in the second half, as Joe Hare with the reception touchdown, and Point gets some of that confidence and rhythm we talked about.
Absolutely. I mean, talk about a buzzer beater at the end of the quarter too, with triple zeros on the clock. You got one more quarter. I want to see some grit shown by that defense and get that offense some more game time reps to get themselves prepared for next game. But honestly, I mean, I know it may not turn out to be as important. That was the Pointers' best drive of the night by far.
It was led by the big play,
Going for two
big
here.
throw, and now they are going for 2, which would cut it to 21. So it makes sense. And are they going to get the edge? They will. Wow, what speed there!
Wow.
The 2-point conversion is good. What speed by Jermaine Moore Jr. It looked like Stout had the drop on him. I think they had 3 defenders that could make the play, but he just cuts the corner, gets the 2-point conversion.
It was just all speed by Moore Jr. on that play. That was a fantastic play to get that 2-point conversion.
Yeah, so now a 21-point game, and while it may not be likely the Point can come back and tie this, it is not impossible to get 21 points in 15 minutes.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I'm saying there's a chance, but I think it's going to come down to the defense and getting stops quickly.
Absolutely. I mean, you're going to think, at this point, the key is to limit the amount of time that comes off the clock. So getting stops on third down, getting that ball back to your offense, essentially treating every drive almost like a 2-minute drill. Get down the field as fast as possible, get points on the board. And that'll be easier said than done, seeing as how well this defense for Stout has been playing.
And no doubt about it, as we have Chancellor Gibson here at UW-Stevens Point being recognized here. His first semester was last spring, as our Chancellor here at Stevens Point. But back in our football game here, the Pointers are going to kick off, and what are the chances we see a sneak onside kick here?
That would be gutsy, but I doubt it. They're prepared for it, though, it would seem.
Yeah, we'll see. And it will be an onside kick.
Oh.
And it goes right out of bounds, so not what you want there, but
no.
There's also another
flag.
I think the Pointers, they were offsides as well. I think their kickoff team went early. I think they were across the line too early, so I think there's going to be 2 penalties on Point here.
That was it was a little bit long, but all things considered, that was a relatively good kick, and it looks like they're going to be kicking again, as the Stout players are going back. So maybe they have offsetting penalties and a re-kick.
Well, what I think is, if they do call the offsides on Point, I think that should be a dead. It should be they should redo it because it's going to be blown. It should have been blown dead, I believe.
Okay.
If you're offsides on the kickoff, as the kickoff team, I believe it should be dead. So the second flag would be meaningless. The kick out of bounds, because the kick shouldn't have happened.
Right.
Based on the.
Number 98 of the kicking team.
Yep.
There you go. Right on the money.
After the play was over,
Oh.
personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 89 of the receiving team.
Wow.
Wow.
So.
Penalties will be enforced.
So unnecessary roughness. Unnecessary roughness called on 89 of Stout.
Caleb
Tim. Yeah. So that's now 3 of those unsportsmanlike or unnecessary roughness calls on Stout this game.
That'll definitely be one negative thing that they'll be looking at in the locker room in Stout, is the fact that they've had 1 player ejected from 2 unsportsmanlike conducts, and 1 more, and Tim will be thrown out of the game too.
Yeah, and if this was a close game, those would really be hurting
Absolutely.
Stout. I mean, the fact that they're up by 21, that obviously benefits them in that way, but definitely something for them to work on in the future is not committing, frankly, dumb penalties.
Absolutely. I mean, it's putting it lightly. I mean, that one nice touchdown run that Cox had off of the bubble screen, he essentially took himself out of the game with a celebration like that. So
yeah, now
you're exactly right. They've been dumb penalties that Stout have done. I mean, they're in front, but let's say next week against Whitewater, if things are in the balance, you don't want to be committing those penalties.
Yeah, now we'll see what Point does here. Are they going to try to onside it again, and how does the change of the spot affect this? They're going to kick it deep.
Oh, man, that's
And did he
that's
kick
going
it out of bounds? Wow, so that's really a poor kick by the kicker Victor Ponterio. He's missed he's had a tough day kicking wise, and not able to. I think what they wanted to do is pooch kick it to try to pin them down there again at about the 50. And maybe something to consider, maybe they should have done, is bring out the punter, because you can punt. I believe I'm not 100% sure, but I believe you can choose to punt it. Now, obviously in normal situations you wouldn't, because you can kick it farther. But if you want to pin them down, maybe that would have been something to think about.
Yeah, instead, this is what the third kick out of bounds that the Pointers have had.
Been a few for each team.
A few for each team. That's another thing they're going to have to.
Illegal free kick out of bounds on the kicking team for
Okay.
98. The ball placed at the 25-yard line. First down.
Interesting. So they placed it at the 25 rather than the 35. So they're going to interesting. So they're enforcing the penalty on that kick as well.
It's interesting because I thought they enforced the penalty on the kick and moved it up.
They did. I'm not sure if that's correct.
I'm confused. Doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah, I mean, and here we go. Off on the loose. It is Rayshawn Graham going to the house for UW-Stout. And Rayshawn Graham, we talked about it. He's been getting those 6 or 7 yarders, and now he hits the home run for Rayshawn Graham.
There's that flashy play he's been working up. He's been doing all the hard work, going between the tackles tonight, and finally he gets paid off with a nice run like that. I mean, he's just been showing off this entire game. Just a fantastic rushing performance and just the right confidence boost he needs going into a tough game next week.
Yeah, and that's going to add 75 yards to his total. He was at 95 for the game, as he's up at 170 yards rushing on 18 carries with 3 touchdowns. So if you had to pick a most valuable player of this game, I would say probably Rayshawn Graham.
Oh, absolutely.
And extra point is good. Now 42-14, and now I'll say that it's going to be tough for the Pointers.
No.
to come back in this one.
No.
As 42-14 now. Stevens Point down to UW-Stout here in the fourth quarter with just under 15 minutes to go.
Yeah, a rough day at the office for the Pointers, but I mean, like we said, this is the first game of the conference season, so there's plenty of opportunities left in the season to turn things around and get some more wins and put themselves in contention. But this is the kind of game you kind of got to put behind you. You got to acknowledge the bad things that happen, but you can't let this affect you in any way, because if this gets too stuck in your head, that could hurt you in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. They got a lot of season left, and one way to look at it is they got a lot to work on. You got a lot to go into practice with, and I mean, they'll have 2 weeks of full 2 weeks of practice to try and work out these kinks. But before then, they still got about 15 minutes left in this game to try to continue what they did their last offensive drive and get some of that rhythm going, get some of that cohesiveness.
Absolutely.
To end this game.
We said last drive for the Pointers was their best drive of the game, and these next couple drives that they have can be just kind of points where they can say, okay, let's improve on what we did. And nice looking return.
Yeah, that's Jermaine Moore Jr. once again. He's shown a lot of speed out there. That's going to be interesting to watch as we go forward in this season. He seems that he's maybe a weapon they could use a little more with that speed.
Absolutely.
Just getting him the ball in the open field.
We saw in that 2-point conversion that the Pointers had last time they had possession. I mean, the true speed that they have, they're going to look to incorporate him in the offense, seeing as he's been one of the bright spots today so far.
Yeah, and Moore Jr., he's a sophomore here for Stevens Point.
9 seconds on the play clock, so they're going to have to get up and go.
Yes, they are. And they get it off. Hero dropping back, now going on the wheel route to his running back and just overthrown there that time. And is that Moore there? And it is. So as we talk about, they might use him more. They try and throw it to him there, but just a little overthrown.
Absolutely. Those routes are perfect for getting yourself, out in the open. Wheel routes are made for those physical, fast-running players. And really, some confusion there. If they hurry, they could get free play.
And I don't know if he got off the field. They say he did. No,
Looks
he
like
didn't.
They did.
Now they threw the flag.
Very late, though.
I thought he was on the field. So
I agree, but the flag was late. It
Yes.
was a few seconds after the ball was snapped.
yeah. So I think it'll be a 12 men on the field call for Stout.
Probably
That's what it seems.
These past two couple drives with the Max Hero is, oop,
5-yard penalty. Repeat
man, they're not even going to count the play.
Yeah, so illegal substitution. It'll be 2nd and 10.
But Hero has looked pretty sharp on some of these past
The result of the penalty is a first down.
All right, so they call
Okay.
first down now,
That-
which that's right. That
Yeah.
should be right. Again, yeah, if there was 2nd and 10, there would be no consequence
Right.
to the flag. So, yeah, 1st and 10 for the Pointers.
But like I've been saying, Hero has been looking pretty sharp on some of these past throws. And that'll be a good confidence booster for him after not having the greatest game.
Yeah, he is. He has found a little bit of a groove here. Now he's going to run the football, and really, for the first time all game, him running the ball didn't work.
Going nowhere. Getting helped up by a Stout player, number 91, Riley Coteau. Nice sportsmanship showed there.
Will be 2nd and 12 for UWSP. And shotgun formation. Balance that 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Now motion man coming. Looks like he'll be in there to block, so maybe trips right now for the Pointers, and he will block. And a guy
Free
all
rusher.
over Hero. He's still moving. A flag down. He's going deep down the field, incomplete. And I actually think we're going to have a holding call on Stevens Point.
Yeah. I mean, the guy was around Hero's ankles, and he's kind of walking a little gimpy.
Yeah, and it looks like on the pressure it was Ethan Olson. And it is.
He's grimacing a bit. Hero is
Yeah, it looks like maybe a
shook up a bit.
yeah. And the penalty called against Versailles Gamble. Pointers running back. As he's called for the holding. And it is 2nd and 17. Yeah. Well, no, it should be 22. Yeah, it should be 2nd and 22 for Stevens Point. And Hero going to the outside. That looks like it'll be caught on the sideline. It will be.
Another nice throw.
I believe that was Outlaw on the catch. And a good 15-yard gain there. As it'll be 3rd and 8 for Stevens Point. As again, they've just gotten that pass game going a little bit here to end this one here in the 4th.
Yeah, I mean, some nice throws by Hero. Let's keep an eye on him. He was a little shaken up 2 plays ago. The health of their quarterback is the main focus of this season, and we want to make sure he's healthy. Oh boy,
He's
free
rolling
rusher.
right, a lot of pressure. He throws one off his back foot, and it's picked. I don't know where Hero was going with that one, but that's going to be an interception, as that's Mason Preby on the interception. And I think Hero maybe was trying to throw it away, but he just didn't get enough on it to get it out of bounds.
Yeah, I mean, a nice play on that interception. Kind of had to extend a bit, but just another miscue. As a quarterback, you got to learn to, take it to go down when you got nothing. And in that instance, it would do more damage just to throw up a prayer like that, and it came back to bite him. And I think that's the third turnover of the game for the Pointers. So
Yeah, and there was no receiver even in the area at all
absolutely.
on that play. It was just right to Preby. So another miscue for the Pointers as Stout still with their starting unit out there.
Really, for the first time today, Rayshawn Graham has really been stuffed today. That's really the first time.
Yeah, Stout has really done what they've wanted offensively all game. And to put it simply, it's really just been a one-sided battle here today. Stout has dominated this thing really from start to finish. Ever since that first drive where Stevens Point really had that nice drive going initially and they had to settle for the field goal, which they missed, Stout has just really dominated it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a very impressive performance, to say the least, by Stout.
And now rolling out, throwing a short little hitch route, and this is going to be close to a first, just short, maybe an 8-yard gain.
There was nobody within 5 yards of that play until, obviously, they closed in on him. But, I mean, they're just shredding their defense. It's kind of like watching, how Drew Brees was, like they say, he was a surgeon as a quarterback. Every play he made was to perfection. And this entire game, I mean, Brodinger has just been playing on point. He's been throwing perfect passes and playing perfect football this game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. As again, he has 2 picks, but you really can't put either of those 2 interceptions on him, as Graham is going to get back involved again, and he's still churning and going. As again, you think he's down. He looked like he was going to be down right at the first down marker, and somehow he just sputters out of there for 8 more yards.
I mean, he's been taking Pointers for a ride all night. It's been an amazing rushing performance, something he should definitely be proud of. And, I mean, it's nothing more to say for that. I mean, the only thing that he could maybe do to help benefit his team would be to catch the football, but there's been no need for it. He's been so dominant on the ground.
And no doubt about it, as Stout, they're going to try to score again here. They're not holding back at all as they give it to Graham again, and there's a hole. He trucks a man, bowls over another, and wow. And at this point, he's got to be getting close to the 200-yard mark here in today's game.
You know, what's probably demoralizing for the Pointers at this point is they know exactly what's probably going to happen. If Graham is in the football game lined up next to the quarterback, 50% of the time, the ball is going to come to him. And the annoying thing is they have not been able to stop it at all tonight. And that has got to be demoralizing for a defense.
Yeah, and especially now when they're up 28, you really know Stout's going to run the football trying to waste that clock down. Right. Great point there is, the point still can't stop it. And now a different running back here gets a nice gain. As on the carry there. Oh, that was Rayshawn Graham. My mistake.
Looks like that was not Rayshawn
Graham. Yeah, no,
Graham.
it was not Rayshawn Graham.
That was number 9, Matt
Pometlo.
Pometlo.
Excuse me. Pometlo, yes. Matt Pometlo on
still
the carry.
A decent run, a 5 to 6 yard run.
And they might be giving Graham the rest of the game off, not wanting to get your star running back hurt.
I'd say he's deserved it after the performance he's had today.
Have to agree, but Pometlo now, he'll get the carry again, and he's finding some nice yardage. As again, that's where you give credit to the offensive line.
Absolutely, I mean,
the Stout football team.
The Rayshawn Graham is going to get a lot of the notoriety for how the running game has gone, but without the holes that this offensive line has made it, they wouldn't have these nice 60 to 50-yard touchdown runs or these nice 5 chunk yard runs. I mean, the offensive line has just been an absolute unit tonight, and they've been playing to the highest capability they have been.
No doubt about it. Now, another interesting point, neither of these teams are ever under center. These are spread offenses. They put their quarterbacks in shotgun pistol formations, and one has worked, one hasn't. As Pometlo, again, nice run, big hole, and a first down. as Pometlo
Yeah.
carries for the first down.
But I mean, at this point, you have to assume that it's going to be nothing but runs here, and
Especially when it's working.
right, absolutely. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So
Let's see. There looks like calling out an audible here. Is Borgerding. And he'll run it. Pometlo, and this time, no, Pometlo, he broke out of one tackle, but then another pointer comes to make the play, and let's see who that is.
Number
It's like 36 on the play for Stevens Point, and that is Matt Reinhardt.
maybe the first play that went for negative yardage tonight for the Stout. So a nice play by Reinhardt.
As you got to think, this is probably the last drive Bordinger will be in the game.
Oh, you would definitely think so. No reason in risking getting him potentially injured with such a massive game coming next week.
And they'll play action pass it, rolling out right, throwing it to his tight end, and it's caught.
Or excuse me,
Yeah.
they have a bye as well. The Blue Devils have a bye before their game against the against Whitewater. So you gotta imagine the confidence will be high for the Blue Devils going into the game against Whitewater
Yeah, you have to think so.
after such dominating. I mean, there's not really any other way to say it. It's just been a dominating performance in all aspects, defensively, offensively.
Yeah, and really for Stout, we talked about Point, a good time for a bye week, probably a bad time for a bye week if you're Stout. You might want to keep that momentum going. Now
Absolutely.
you got to wait 2 weeks.
Maybe a cold stretch without being real game time plays. And like you said, it's a beneficial for the Pointers, but not beneficial for Stout.
Yeah, we have a timeout on the field by UW-Stout. We'll take a quick time from the mics with them and be back after this. Welcome back, everybody. This timeout has commenced, and Stout, again, looking to put up some more points here against the UW-Stout Blue Devils. Rather, the Blue Devils are looking to put up some more points against the Pointers. And pistol formation, they will drop back again. And now they'll go to the end zone. Got a man open, but overthrown by Bordinger there. Just out of the reach.
Still an impressive throw. He threw it to the right spot, to the corner of the end zone. Like you said, just maybe a little bit too much on him, but we'll see.
And that was
Maybe the only thing that's been negative for the Blue Devils today has been their kicking game. Both sides have been a little shaky. Missed field goals, extra points. This isn't a gimme field goal here.
No, it's not. And we'll see here.
Ooh, they got him to jump off sides, but they couldn't take advantage.
And the kick is up. And it's good.
Nice
So
kick.
nice kick there for Stout. I believe their kicker, Jack Meyer.
So, well, I mean, Pointers forced the first field goal attempt this far.
That is one way to look at it. Yeah.
If you want to take any positive out of
Yeah,
it, but
yeah. Their defense held up there in the red zone for sure. But with 6.5 minutes left, down 45-14. Yeah, now we may see the Pointer Scout team and maybe the Stout Scout team as well.
But in all seriousness, this game really is a benchmark game. You can't do anything but improve from this point on. So they'll look back at this game and they'll say, okay, we did all this wrong. We're going to improve on this, come out even better next time. And, what we practice, we'll put onto the field. They'll have a really solid, hard week of practice. It's going to be difficult to look back at this tape, but it's only going to make them better looking back at what they did wrong.
Yeah, and as we talked about coming into this game, you mentioned a benchmark game, but a game where we didn't know, we were pretty unsure what was going to happen coming into this game with this being the first conference game, and now the picture's a little clear. Again, Point's got a lot of room to improve. Again, they're going to be able to have a lot to work on the next couple of weeks, and then Stout, they're going to be tied sitting at the top of the conference at 1-0. As they're up 31. Now a return here from Moore once again. Moore Jr.
I'm telling you. Oh, and Moore comes up limping.
That is a bad sign.
That's a bad sign.
He is hopping off the field on one leg.
I was going to say,
is Moore.
Moore has been maybe the one bright spot for this offense.
And he can't put any weight on that right leg.
That is just not looking good.
Hopefully, Jermaine Moore Jr. is all right.
Yeah, hopefully.
Because that would be a huge blow to this Stevens Point offense. It hasn't had a lot of bright spots, but Moore's had some explosive plays here today.
Looks like Hero is still out there.
He is. And he's rolling left now. Will tuck and run. He slides, but he does get hit. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe an inch or two, maybe a yard.
No flag. That was nothing malicious there. Just trying to tackle. Looks like maybe scout team defense in for Stout.
Does look that way. This Point, though, still with those starters in. And again, if you're the team losing, a lot of times you don't. Again, you're still just trying to find something positive to go into.
Absolutely. But you'd have to imagine if the Blue Devils can get the ball back, that, like you said, the scout team on offense will probably head on out.
It's Joe Hare with another reception for Stevens Point. And Hare has been another bright spot for the Stevens Point offense. He's had quite a few receptions here this half. And a touchdown as well. Pistol formation for Stevens Point, and they'll hand it off up the middle, making a man miss, and that'll be a first down for the Pointers.
Nice little run there, hopping around, making a defender miss. That's just another small things that can be a positive. As Gamble got the first down on that last play.
It looks like that was actually Jahai Stegall on the.
And they're still looking at Moore on the sideline, and
you hope that he's all right.
Absolutely, he could be a pivotal part of this offense, and losing him in a game like this could be a really, really tough blow.
It's 1st and 10 for Point, and only 2 receivers going out for passes. They're both deep, and they're going for it to Outlaw, but it's picked. And I think a really interesting play call there, as they went max protection. They sent out just 2 receivers on routes, and Hero just heaved it up there.
The only thing thought that really I can think of is that essentially just treat that as a punt. I mean, the offense has been really not doing anything, and he takes a chance. If it's caught, so be it. But if it's intercepted, I mean, that's essentially a punt. It backed him back into the end zone. I mean, it's not desirable that you throw an interception, but at this point in the game, it really doesn't hurt them.
Yeah, I mean that is the way to look at it. I mean, yeah, it doesn't hurt, but yeah, again, if you're trying to get some rhythm going,
absolutely,
offensively, trying to just heave it 50 yards is not really the way to do it. I guess it's not going to change the outcome of this game either way, as
Scout team
a big
offense
run.
is on.
Yeah, so the scout team offense for Stout is out there, and that is, again, the running back that came in for Graham. And, again, that is, again, Matt Pometlo.
A new quarterback, Mitch Wacher, a 6'3" freshman, is in the game for the Blue Devils.
That is Mitch Wechter.
Wechter.
So Wechter in at quarterback. Pometlo at running back, and they give to Pometlo. And he's had a couple of nice runs, but not that time. He'll get stuffed there. As we're under 3.5 minutes to play now. Again, Pometlo.
You got to think.
As the crowd has thinned out a little bit, but still quite a few Pointers fans on hand.
Good to just
here.
Stay here and show your support for your team. Even though the game's not turning out the way that they'd like it, it's good to just show your support.
Yeah, still quite a few fans on hand here at Gerke Field.
Decent amount of Stout fans made the nice 2-hour trip to get here to support their Blue Devils, and they were showing a nice show.
Exactly right, as Matt Pometlo carries again there, loses a yard. It'll be 3rd and 11.
You got to think that the way that the Blue Devils have run the football today, they got to be close to 300 yards on the ground.
Yeah, we'll get official. We should get official stats here at the conclusion of this one, but yeah, it's got to be around there. Graham's got to be up there close to 200 yards himself. Maybe 190 or so, as Pometlo gets it back, and Stout just not going to take any risks here. No. They're just going to run the football.
And it almost looks like they're going to go for it. Nobody coming up.
That would be a shock.
Nobody. All right, there we go.
Watch the Pointers present their jerseys to the winning bidders.
They were in no hurry to get off the field, and late the punting team comes on.
As we're just under a minute and a half left to play here in the 4th. And they will punt it away. High flyer. That's
nice
Hare back
kick.
to return. And he jukes a man, cuts up the field, and is taken down at the 32-yard line for Joe Hare. And the Pointers will have a minute and 11. You think maybe they need it out, or they're going to try to go for one last score?
Well, I mean, they're going to do anything that they think will benefit them in the long run. And like I said earlier, the analogy of seeing basketball going through the net will bring some confidence. Maybe if they can get one more score before things are over, that would do some great for their confidence. But with a minute and 11 seconds left, I don't think they're going to show much urgency to try to get it under the end zone.
Yeah, we'll see what they do. It looks like Hero still out there. That offense still out there. With a minute and 11, they'll hand it off up the middle, and that'll gain maybe a yard or so, maybe 2. And we'll give them a gain of 2. Should be 2nd and 8. Well, maybe gave them 3 on the play. Yeah, 2nd and 7.
2nd and 7 for the Pointers.
Again, they're going hurry-up offense. They're going to try to get something going here. Hero drops back, throws the quick out route to his fullback, and down. Did he get out of bounds? I think they're going to say he did.
I mean, I like it. I like showing you still have that grit. You want to improve. You want to show that, hey, I'm still competitive. I like it. It'll do wonders for your confidence going into the next game.
And I think a lot of it, maybe as a
nice bubble
coach,
screen.
is that is a nice play there. Outlaw on the reception and the run after catch. But as a coach, I'm sure you don't want to give the mindset to your team that if we lose, we're going to get more rest.
Right.
Or something like that. You're
Right.
going to make your players prove that they can go out and play some more. as I believe there's been a timeout called on the field. And there has been. Or an injured player. Okay, so Outlaw now. That's another receiver for Stevens Point. That's really been that's been their number one target on the day. Outlaw has been, and he's coming off the field limping.
Yeah, and you don't want to sound too negative here, but what just about could go wrong, unfortunately, for the Pointers has really gone wrong today. You don't want to really risk anybody else getting beat up today or potentially injured. So I would think they're going to take it easy for this last 35 seconds.
Yeah, and Outlaw, you don't want to speculate what an injury is, but it looks like maybe a leg cramp there, based on how he's walking. Who knows?
He's walking on it a little bit, but...
And Hero now dropping back. He's rolling left. He's going to run. No, throws, and is it caught? I believe incomplete is the call. That is incomplete. 23 seconds left here.
Incomplete pointer pass. Intended for number 89, Ernie Las Pizza. Second down and 10 for the Pointers.
And it's 2nd and 10 for Stevens Point. Shotgun formation, trips left, now dropping back is Hero, rolling right, looking for a man. He's got one, but out of bounds. Hare had a little bit of space, but not that open there, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, Hero has had a lot of rollouts today. I mean, he's been doing a good job on some of those and trying to get away from the pressure, but he's had a few plays tonight where he should have gotten rid of the ball. That was a good example of what he did right. He didn't want to chance the ball getting an interception, but give it a chance at the end of the game. Try to make something positive.
And Hero here trying to step up. Makes a man miss. He's going to look to run with it, and he's going to go out of bounds and stop the clock with 6 seconds left. It'll be about 4th and 6 as, I don't know if Stevens Point just going to try a Hail Mary here. As another thing to keep in mind, Jermaine Moore, he looked like he was still not able to put weight on that leg on the sideline earlier. Here for Moore, so that'll be something we keep an eye. We just stay up to date with these next couple weeks. The good thing is, Pointers don't play next week.
Right,
they got a week off.
He's got time to heal, got time to rest,
and we'll see if the Pointers just go for a Hail Mary or what they're gonna do here. As Hero rolls out and he throws it short, and that will do it. Zeros on the clock, and the UW-Stout Blue Devils, they take down the UW Stevens Point Pointers 45-14 here in 4 quarters of play, as it was not pretty for the Pointers today.
No, it was not a good performance. Things were looking fine early. They had a nice first drive, but really it pivoted on one play. The Pointers were down 6-0 in their own territory. A costly interception gave Stout a chance to go up by double digits. They went up 14-0 and just didn't look back from that point on. And really an impressive performance by Stout and just a little benchmark performance for the Pointers. A chance to look to the future. Don't want to hold on to this one too much and try to improve.
Yeah, now we'll have a chance to hear from Ashton Parker. Ashton, what did you think of today's game?
So I said earlier in halftime that the first drive was going to set the precedent for the rest of this game. Back then, they were only down 20-ish points, and when they were making pretty good distance there, but then they got the turnover on downs after failing to complete a 4th and 1, and that really set what the tone was going to be for the Pointers in that second half. Not much. They were able to get another touchdown, get the 2-point conversion. They didn't quit, but it was just really, really rough. Max Hero had a really rough day today. Had, 4 or 5 interceptions. They had some questionable choices and throws. They weren't able to get the run game going. And, again, like you guys said, this is just a game to reflect on. We are the Pointers are playing Stout, again in it's like a few weeks, like maybe a month from now.
We'll play in 2 weeks, October 2nd.
October,
game.
against Stout.
Against Stout, okay.
Yeah, they'll be able to. They have some film to watch for that second game against Stout. They do have the bye week, so they can just take some time, gather things up, regroup, and just try and bounce back next week.
Yeah, and that's not really a better way to put it. It was just a rough day for the Pointers to get beat 45-14. But that is it for us here on today's broadcast. So again, my name is Cale Jacoby alongside Will Haraldson and Ashton Parker as well. Also Florence Anderson and Ryan Kreft doing the production as well here today. As that is it here on SPTV, and we will see you next time